Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
With smartphones being such an integral part of our daily lives, it is truly an inconvenience when it doesn't work properly. It disrupts the normalcy of our day. When you go into the cell phone store to have it repaired, they just try to upsell you on a new phone. That's why the owner of iDrop, TKL, left those places and opened Go is a happy customer. TKL and the team will listen to what you have going on and work to solve the problem of your broken device in a way that best suit your needs, instead of trying to upsell you on something that you just don't need. They don't just repair phones, they can service your laptop or PC as well as your Mac. Windows 7 support is over, but iDrop can help you transition to Windows 10. They have a 5-star rating on Google with hundreds of positive reviews. Let me say that again. I don't think y'all understand how big this is. They have a 5-star rating on Google. Their customer service really speaks for itself. So if you ever find yourself with a device that isn't performing as it should, give iDrop a call at 865-888-9740 or check them out on Facebook at iDrop of Knoxville. If man made it, they can fix it.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Deep down the middle's got his man, and he's gone. Jason Swain, touchdown.
It's time for the Swain Event with your host, Jason Swain.
My man.
Real sports talk for the real sports fan.
All you chumps are gonna bow when I whoop him.
It's time for the Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Give me 2 pounds and a Ric Flair.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. We are live here from the Low T Center studio. Ben McKee, Jason Swain. It is July the 6th, 5 minutes past the top of the hour. ACC Media Days is around the corner. Football season is around the corner. College baseball is over. NBA finals start tonight. Ben McKee, good morning, man.
Good morning, Jason Swain. How was your 4th of July weekend?
These are not spirit fingers. These are spirit fingers.
Still have all your fingers, so it was a good weekend in your book.
Let me see your spirit fingers. We're good. So it was good, man. It was good.
Yeah, it was unfortunate to see the Columbus Blue Jackets goalie pass away because he got hit in the chest by a firework. Something along those lines. I didn't dive deep into the story, but you don't really think about the repercussions of shooting off fireworks until something really unfortunate happens. Obviously, the incident with the Blue Jackets goalie is extreme, but you think more of Jason Pierre-Paul and him losing his finger, and how many incidents do we hear each and every 4th of July about somebody missing a finger because something went wrong while shooting off fireworks. I tell you what, I have completely changed my tune on fireworks since I got a dog. Because you have a puppy. I'll be curious to hear if you had any unfortunate nights the past 2 nights dealing with fireworks. But Sunday night, the night of the 4th, 3 hours straight, I heard fireworks, and for 3 hours straight, my part shepherd, who when there are loud noises outside, likes to let everybody know he's where he is and protect our family. He was letting people know he did not like the fireworks for 3 hours straight. And then there was a little bit last night, a little bit on Saturday night as well. I've changed my tune on fireworks, Swain.
Yeah, my neighbor, and I don't mean like my neighbor a couple houses down or a couple houses up, like my next door neighbor, where we share a fence. They think that it's their responsibility to provide entertainment for the entire neighborhood. And, they've been doing this ever since we've been in this house for 6 years. And, when the little ones were smaller, it was a bigger deal because, it scared the crap out of them. But now, they love it. But they started on Saturday. And I don't know if that was them last night, but somebody shot something off yesterday. And last time I checked, yesterday was the 5th.
That's where I draw the line.
I mean, it's like, do your thing on the 4th. And I understand if you want to do it on the 3rd because it's Saturday and, Sunday is the 4th and some folks may work, some folks may not, whatever. But after the 4th, if you ain't shot them off, you need to wait the next year.
Yes.
Or you need to take them back. Just wait the next year. Or fix your calendar. Set an alarm. Set an event. Something. I draw the line on shooting off fireworks past the 4th. But no, my dog didn't really react like I thought he would. I mean, he's in the phase right now. He's scared of birds and, he did chase a rabbit the other day. I was proud of him. I did tell you that nice lady was walking 2 small dogs around the block, and we were out there, and he was barking at him. And I was like, yes, there you go. There you go. Now you're acting like a Doberman. I like it. But no, he didn't really react too much from the fireworks. I'm sure next year will be a different story. But, yeah, man, it just seems like folks gotten crazier this year. Maybe because, this is the first year after COVID. I know COVID is still going on in a lot of ways for folks. But, folks are out and about this year more than last year when COVID was fresh. But it just seemed like there's more ratchetness this year with fireworks. I mean, shooting each other with fireworks. And listen, this is something I did as a youngster myself, Roman candles.
Which I never understood why people want to do that. But teach their own.
Yeah, I know, man. Looking back at it, it was not smart. Somebody could have really got hurt. But at that age, you're not really thinking. But if you 20-something years old or, 30 years old, you still shooting Roman candles at people, then I gotta kind of question your judgment and your maturity level. But, yeah, as a youngster, man, we did the Roman candle wars and all that good stuff. But it just seems like it's just ratchet. Just folks lost their mind. Good morning, Pam. Good morning, Terry. On Facebook there. Man, it's good to be back. Good to be back with y'all today as we count down to football season. I'm not one of the folks out here, one of the fans out here that's dreading football season. I mean, I'm actually looking forward to it. Now, I'm not doing backflips. I'm not counting down the days on the calendar. But I'm looking forward to football season.
Are you looking forward to football season in general, or you're looking forward to Tennessee's football season?
I'm looking forward to the first 4 games. So we got to get to the football season to play the first 4 games, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I'm looking forward to seeing what we're going to do in the first 4 games. So
even the Florida game.
I'm looking forward to it, man.
I am. I mean, football season is football season. I mean, 2013, Butch's first year. 2018, Pruitt's first year. Even Heupel's first year this year. I'm excited. I always get excited for football season, and even 17 when we, the Swain Event, knew that Tennessee was not going to have a good year preseason prior to the Tennessee-Georgia Tech game in Atlanta. I was still excited for football season. I mean, it is football season in college football. It's weird. Baseball is like my favorite sport in terms of just the actual game, but college football and SEC football, to be more specific, is without a doubt my favorite sport to follow. So we only get 3 months out of the year of it. 4 now with the playoffs and bowl games and whatnot, but 4 out of 12 months, not a great ratio of something you love and how much you get of it and how much you don't get of it. So I always look forward to football season regardless of circumstances, and I think it's even heightened this year because last year we didn't get full crowds, and this year we will get full crowds, and I'd be curious to see if they do the Vol Walk, but
gotta do the Vol Walk.
I'm anticipating that they will. We just haven't heard one way or the other whether they will. I would imagine that they will, and I imagine the pride of the Southland will be back on the field to allow the players to run through the tee once again, and just little things like that we didn't get last year is what I miss. I mean, it's been 2 years since we got to see those things, and those things, those events, as little as they may be, I mean that's part of why I love the game day experience in Neyland. So I'm excited to get back to those things more than anything.
Yeah. I mean, you had the block party for baseball and Super Regional. I mean, that was a packed block right there. I mean, people were really close together. So if you have that, man, you gotta have the Vol Walk. And I can't wait to the Vol Walk.
Well, the reason I hesitated is because the fans will be around the players. With the block party, there weren't players mingling amongst.
Good point.
So I don't know if they'll still try to keep the players from the fans.
Good point. Can't wait to see the tee open up, even though it's going to be noon. But hey, man, never know about the weather. This is hurricane season, unfortunately, for those that are on the coast and have to deal with that. Whenever there's hurricane season, that means that we get cooler weather. So you never know. It could be 95 degrees or it could be 75 degrees at noon for the beginning of the football season for Tennessee as they host a couple home games. But never before have I been this excited about seeing the Vol Walk, seeing the tee open up and the team run through it. We understand how pressure it is to our tradition, how special it is, but you truly don't know and value the traditions, especially when you do it every single year. You don't value it as much until it's gone. And so we get a chance to see that this year. It's back, hopefully. I don't see why it wouldn't be, but you never can be too sure. But that's what I'm looking forward to for sure. I'm probably looking forward to seeing the traditions more than actual game in between the lines, because that's what makes college sports special. Speaking of special, man, I watch Yankees and the Mets 2 games this weekend, Ben.
Did you watch the 2 that they lost or the one that they won when they lost?
I watched the one when they were getting smashed, and then I watched the win.
They did not get. They did get smashed on my days
Saturday.
Yes, my days are all. Yes,
Saturday.
Because Friday got rained out, and they played a doubleheader Sunday. Saturday they did get smashed.
Yeah.
I thankfully I listened to the game. My sister got engaged on Saturday in Nashville, so shout out to my little sister Ivy, and congratulations to Chris.
Congratulations,
her fiance. So
I like I like him.
I like Chris as well.
So so far.
So yes, I really like him. He is the first boyfriend that I have not gotten a bad feeling about. All the other ones and they weren't all bad guys per se, but there were some that were kind of really shy and wouldn't come out of their shell, and then there was a really bad one that I just wanted to punch him in his face every time I saw him.
I don't know why you didn't do it.
I don't know either. I wanted to, but it's neither here nor there. She found a real nice young man, and very excited for the two of them. So I drove over to Nashville on Saturday to watch her be proposed to. Had to hide in the bushes. Me and the wife had to hide in the bushes to make sure we weren't seen, and then we had a family cookout. So I view it as a good thing. We're kicking her out of the family.
That's right.
Which is a good thing in my books. But I had to listen to the game on the way over, which was a new experience. I didn't grow up listening to games on the radio like many have. I've grown up in an era where you can watch all the games on TV, so listening to it through the MLB app, John Sterling on the Yankees network was different, but a cool experience. But I'm glad that I did not have to watch because they were getting no hit, and then they turned around on Sunday, and I had a come apart in my living room because of Aroldis Chapman. I wanted to RKO him, and I was speaking of somebody I wanted to punch in the face. I wanted to punch Aroldis Chapman in the face. Now, it would not have gone very well for me. Aroldis Chapman would have turned around and killed me after I punched him because he is a very large man, and he does have a history of a short temper. So things would not have gone well for me if I punched him. But I wanted to punch him to get the point across. Bro, we give you a 1-run lead, and you give it up 3 pitches in. He's cost us so many games this season. Last month, I guess it's beginning of July now. I'm fed up with Aroldis Chapman.
Maybe since Tony Vitello in Tennessee haven't signed a deal, maybe Tony's holding out for the Yankees job.
Well, I don't know how you can blame the manager when the guy making, I don't know his exact salary, but he's making a lot of money. The guy making $20-25 million a year can't throw a strike over the plate and hangs a breaking ball every time he's out there.
You know how it works, man. You can't replace players like that. You know, when you got the contracts and you got the talent, and the results are not there. It's only one place you look, and that's at the top. That's with the GM and the coach, and you can replace those a little bit easier than the players. But yeah, man, I watched 3 baseball games over the weekend.
2 Yankees ones, and
I watched the White Sox and the Twins yesterday.
Twins stink.
I know.
Who won?
I don't want to talk about it.
Though I honestly don't know.
The
so
Twins.
The Twins won? Oof.
The Twins. White Sox had 5 runs in an inning and 0 outs. Guy on third. There was a hit. Don't know who hit it because I wasn't really paying attention all that much. But I did see where the runner tried to go to home and got gunned down.
There you go.
It was the worst base running decision I've ever seen.
There you go.
And I just was like, you gotta be kidding me. And then, but we did see a VFL.
Garrett Crochet
looked like he's gonna hit the batter every time he threw the ball. I was like, dang.
He's had a good year. He must not have had a good day though.
I mean, he only gave up 2 runs, when he went in, but I mean, he was smoking them down the middle. But yeah, man, I watch a little bit of baseball, which means it's
what
time.
What made you want to watch baseball?
Wasn't nothing else on. Which is I was about to say, it's time for football. Like, it's time to get this thing going because I'm over here watching baseball. And I give Tony Vitello and Tennessee baseball team credit. They're the only reason that I've been watching baseball. I've been trying to, I guess, replicate the same feelings that I had with Tennessee baseball was playing, watching MLB. but it's just not the same. I'll just watch the home run derby. That's what I just watch. But I did see Aaron Judge home run on Saturday, man. Solo shot.
I did not even get to see that.
It didn't really mean anything because the score was like 8-1 when he did it.
Well, it did mean something because they were getting no hit when he hit it, and I'd rather lose 8-1, which they lost 8-3, but I would rather lose 8-3 than 8-0 and get no hit in the process of losing 8-0. So it did mean a little bit because that was the Yankees' first hit.
Swain Event fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Ben and I was talking about this before the show. We know the name, image, likeness is here. It's not going anywhere. We understand there's going to be a frenzy to start off, and things may settle down, and some more rules may be put in place or whatever. But which one is going to be more detrimental to the SEC? Is it going to be NIL, or is it going to be the inter-conference transfer rule that makes it legal for a player to transfer from one SEC team to another? Which one's going to be the downfall or the SEC, or cause more issues inside of this conference? NIL, or is it going to be interconference transfers? So far, only one player from Tennessee has really hurt Tennessee when it comes to transfer inside of the conference. But Tennessee has benefited probably more than it has been hurt so far. But that's just this year. Things can change.
And baseball.
Things can change, exactly. And baseball. So, question to start hour number 1 here on the Swain Event. Hour 1 is brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Be right back.
If you want to get in on the conversation, call the Iris Networks hotline at 865-200-5503. Grow your business with Iris Networks high-speed fiber internet. IrisNetworksUSA.com.
If you're coming to Knoxville and need a place to stay, do yourself a favor and book a room at Hampton Inn Paper Mill, also known as the Hampton on the Hill. This award-winning property is literally in the top 5% of all Hampton Inn properties. The GM, Stephen Lawrence, is a good old local boy who grew up in the business around Knoxville. He and his staff are always available, always willing to help, and will go above and beyond for their guests. The newest Hampton Inn in Knoxville has clean, affordable rooms, flat screens, fridges, and microwaves in every room. Plus, breakfast is included in every rate. Not to mention, there's also a pool and fitness center on site. If it wasn't so close to amazing restaurants, bars, and shopping, you would never want to leave. At only 6 miles from campus, you're still right in where the big orange action is. Go to HamptonInn.com, search Knoxville, and book your room at the Hampton Inn Paper Mill, or call 865-693-5400. Guys, your health right now is more important than ever. I recommend Low T Center. That's where I get my levels checked. It all starts with the annual wellness exam, where they do a comprehensive health assessment exclusively for men, making it quick and easy to take care of your health. And now they offer monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatment. Most insurance is accepted. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment and make your health a priority. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Good morning, Swain Event crew. As the weather heats up, so does our market, and from Johnson City to Knoxville, eager buyers are grabbing up many available properties. The chili is hot in East Tennessee, so if you are ready to buy or sell or want to talk more about our local real estate market, I'm just a phone call away. Or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. And go Vols!
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
Swain Event fueled by Daddy Barbecue on Friday. Tennessee pulled in another commitment. We didn't do the show yesterday. Shout out to C-Mac. We didn't do the show yesterday. If you don't know, Ben will tell you that I need to be reminded when holidays are like around, because I'm in work mode. Work. Heads down. And if you don't tell me that it's my birthday, or if it's Christmas, or if it's 4th of July, if it's Valentine or whatever, Memorial Day, I just assume we doing the show and just work. And
all week long, punching the clock, dusk till dawn.
Work. Yeah, man.
Well, I was more so referring to the Alan Jackson song
I don't know about
Rihanna
Alan Jackson.
song.
I don't know about Alan Jackson. I know of him, but I don't listen to Alan Jackson like
You have
that.
a birthday coming up.
Yep, in 3 weeks actually.
I said it in my phone. I'm not good with. See, look, I just had to go to Facebook and make sure that I hadn't already. I thought, all right, wait, we're good. I'm not good with remembering birthdays, so I set them in my phone for a reminder of important people. So you should feel honored that I thought you were important enough to set in my phone to remind me of when your birthday is.
Yeah, I wish it was on the weekend, so that way we don't have to talk about it. To be honest, but it's gonna land on a Tuesday. It looks like.
Yeah, is it the 21st, or is it the 28th?
27th.
That'll be the Tuesday I get back from the beach too, so we'll be doing a show as well.
Yeah, you can bring.
Can't get away this year.
You can bring back one of those Pensacola
Pina coladas
tourist T-shirts, the tie-dye.
So I learned that I'm not actually going to Pensacola. I'm going to Santa Ana, which is right around it looks very close to Pensacola.
Dearval still gonna meet up with you.
No, he was texting me over the weekend. Our favorite Tennessee fan posted something on Twitter, and he said, "Please Venmo me $100, or make me Venmo you $100 if I ever lose this much common sense to get me in place." And he shared the tweet with me. I said, "I think you should send me $100 anyways via Venmo." And he said, "Only if you buy me $95 of drinks while we're at the beach." I said, "No."
Sounds like a good deal. What's also a good deal is that Tennessee got a commitment on Friday. We did not do the show yesterday, so we didn't really have a chance to talk about it. But we've known that Tennessee was going to get this player for a couple weeks. He wanted to wait. Initially, he wanted to wait a little bit longer, but I don't think when you're a player that's ranked as a 3-star, I don't think those guys have the luxury or the leverage to wait, because your spot could be gone. If Alabama is telling Ty Simpson, "Yo, you better hurry up," Clemson, "Hey, you better hurry up, we're moving on," that means Tennessee or any other school will do the same to a lower rated player, because to protect the school, you protect yourself. If you're the school, you got to get guys in the boat. And early signing period makes it easier for these schools to basically have their class 75% done before the early signing period. You want to know guys who are going to commit to you, and you don't want any surprises around signing day. So you would rather get a guy that's going to commit to you, now, than possibly wait on a player who may be a little bit better, but you're one of 3 or 4 schools that are in the mix, and there's 25% chance that he's going to come to your school. So for Tennessee's point of view, I'm not saying you want to pressure this young man, but you just want to let him know that, hey, we need guys who are, in the boat, sooner than later. And so his plan to announce a little bit later was pushed up, and Messiah Reddick chose Tennessee on Friday, Ben.
He did. Quick note on your point about the quarterbacks. What did Clemson do after Ty Simpson picked Alabama?
Oh,
turned around and picked up a quarterback from Westlake High School in Austin, Texas. Cade Klubnik, a top 100 player. And what did he do this past weekend? He was named the MVP at the Elite 11, where Ty Simpson was.
That might be like
amongst other high-ranked quarterbacks.
Oh, yeah. Good job, Cole. That might be like high school central, Westlake down there in Austin, Texas, man, because they produce Baker Mayfield. They produce, I want to say, was it Drew Brees? Or was it? It was an older quarterback. But this is like their third or fourth quarterback that's been that's going, big time D1. But Westlake High School, man, in Austin, Texas, they produce a lot of quarterback talent.
They did, and Cade Klubnik, I hope I'm saying his last name correctly, is the latest, and he was the guy that
Drew Brees and Nick Foles.
Oh wow, and Baker.
And Baker.
And now this young man. I'm sure they've had other college quarterbacks in between.
Maybe it wasn't Baker. I think Baker went to another school also.
Well, the colors look familiar as it relates to Baker playing in high school. I didn't realize. I always forget that Baker's like from Austin.
Not Baker. It's Drew Brees, Nick Foles. Baker went to another school in Austin.
Okay. I always forget that he's part of Austin.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was funny how Clemson is like telling Ty Simpson, okay, let's go, time to make a decision. And he picks Alabama, which I would argue that Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, LSU, Georgia, those are kind of the teams that are running into each other most on the recruiting trail right now and have heated battles each recruiting cycle. So they're both going at each other's necks for Ty Simpson. And they're telling Ty Simpson, okay, buddy, it's time to make a decision. And then they don't get him, and they pivot to a guy. And that guy is from Austin, Texas. He's a top 100 player. I'm sure he'll get the 5-star bump at some point this recruiting cycle. And then he goes out and he's named MVP of the Elite 11, where all the nation's top quarterbacks are. And I know we're talking about Masai Reddick right now, but while we are mentioning the Elite 11, I do want to bring up Bruce Feldman's comments about Taven Jackson. Bruce Feldman of The Athletic, he was out at the Elite 11 and had some takeaways. And
poor Masai Reddick.
Yeah, poor Masai Reddick.
It'll be your moment.
It is, but Taven Jackson is the guy that he's going to be blocking for. So you know how it is.
He's a quarterback. So
he had him as his 6th takeaway. Just a short little paragraph. He said that I know Tennessee fans have endured a lot with their program of late, but they have a keeper in quarterback commit Taven Jackson, a 6'4", 190-pounder. He had a lot of good moments that I saw. Jackson has a quick release and excellent feet. He's a terrific all-around athlete and has a lot of presence to him. He's an outstanding basketball player and golfer, too. I liked how he talked to the coaches and former NFL guys at the event. He seemed to have a lot of natural leadership qualities and charisma. I'd bet on this kid being a really good one for Josh Heupel. So there's you a dose of positivity this morning on the Tennessee football front. And Masai Reddick is, I know this is frequently used in recruiting, but I truly mean it in this situation. Masai Reddick, the 3-star offensive guard from Cass Technical there in Detroit.
Cass Tech
is an underrated pickup, and you point out Cass Tech in that manner because Cass Tech puts out a lot of football players.
Yeah, I want to say basketball too.
Oh, really?
I think they're pretty strong in both sports.
Yeah, and there's 2 high schools there in Detroit that really turn out a lot of talent athletically, and I know Cass Tech is one of them. I'm blanking on the other school's name, but Masai Reddick, in my opinion, is truly an underrated prospect, a guy that probably isn't ranked where he should be because he had the ability to take visits and more so go camp last year. He had that taken away from him because of COVID. He's a guy that on Rivals doesn't even have a ranking. He is a 3-star, but doesn't even have a ranking. And he was on campus a couple weeks ago, and I saw him in person. He's a big old boy. He is a big old boy. And, he was considering Kent State, Bowling Green, Utah State, nobody that really stands out. But you're going to see guys like this, and I'm not trying to sugarcoat things. I'm really not. I do legitimately like Masai Reddick and his potential. Reminds me of William Parker Griffin, another guy who was ranked a 3-star last year. Now, his 3-star ranking is a little bit different, a whole lot of different, because he had a legitimate Alabama offer. He could have committed to Alabama, but chose Tennessee, and Nick Saban was not happy after William Parker Griffin chose Tennessee over Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a difference between Masai Reddick being a 3-star and William Parker Griffin being a 3-star. William Parker Griffin was criminally underrated. But I think Masai Reddick is as well. He was at Tennessee June 10th last month for the first time with his teammates for an unofficial visit and camp-like situation. And then he returned to Tennessee June 18th for his official visit. And he'll likely play guard for Tennessee. I know he's listed as a guard, and I'm sure that will hold true. Although Tennessee's coaches did mention after they saw him in person that they liked his length and maybe tackle could be an option, more so than they initially thought. But most likely will play guard at Tennessee. And Swain, here's why I like Masai Reddick. I would keep it real simple.
His name?
No. He does have a cool name. Tennessee needs an attitude adjustment. They need some dogs along the line, along the offensive line. They have some, but they don't have enough right now. And Glenn Ellerby is trying to change the culture. This young man is from Detroit. That's all I need to know about him. He's from Detroit, and he plays offensive line. I'm sold. Big old boy from Detroit and plays offensive line. I'm sold. That easy. That easy. So another nice pickup. I know there's been a social media narrative and message board narrative about 3 stars left and right. Folks aren't too happy about getting the 3 stars, and I get it. I do get it. It's all we have to go off of, and based off of all we have to go off of, there's not a whole lot of excitement about.
I'm sorry, I don't get that right now.
I get the fan perspective of it, but as you and I have talked about in the past, Tennessee isn't going to. This isn't going to be a recruiting class where Tennessee just brings in elite talent after elite talent after elite talent. Unfortunately, Tennessee is just not in that spot anymore. They're going to have to go the Rick Barnes route, the Tony Vitello route, and take some players who were overlooked, lower-ranked guys. They're going to have to develop them, get the most out of them, win with them, and then you will reap the benefits of being able to recruit like Tennessee once was. And even still, Tennessee's going to be in it for some 4 stars. The ones that stick out in my mind right now is Isaiah Horton and Cam Miller, 2 4-star receivers. Isaiah Horton from Oakland, Cam Miller from Memphis. We've talked about them a couple different times over the last week or two. I think Tennessee is in real good spots with them. 4-star Addison Nichols. I think Tennessee still has some work to do there, but I think they're in a good spot. Tennessee's in a good spot for a couple of different 4 stars. But this is going to be a class that we have talked about, Swain, that it's not going to be star-studded. Again, it's going to be a group where they have to take a chance on some guys, develop them, and get the most out of them.
I think it's important to mention that all 3 stars are not created the same, or not the same, and all 4 stars are not either. So there's levels to a player being a 4-star. So you can have a player that's a low 4-star. How much different is that from being a high 3-star? Like I ain't trying to crap on these recruiting analysts, but teams that have players that get the little bump, just because, like, that's real. Sorry. That goes on. That's real. And if you are a recruiting site, you don't want to be too egregious with the bump. You don't want to have a guy that's not rated and then he commits to a school and all of a sudden he's a 5-star. You don't want to make it obvious. But I'm sorry if a school has a player that the recruiting services don't know much about because he didn't go to a bunch of camps or didn't go to a bunch of showcases or whatever, and the kid hits a school camp, he shows out, he shows up a couple highly rated players, and he gets offered from that school, he commits to that school, and now boom, he's a 3-star, and you can't tell me that the recruiting services are not going to say, well, dang, if this 15, 20, 30-year vet thinks this kid is dang good to play here, maybe I need to check my work. Maybe I need to adjust my ranking. Oh yeah, now he's a 4-star because Rodney Garner wanted this kid. That stuff happens. I'm sorry.
Oh, Nick Saban wanted this 3-star.
This stuff happens.
What did I miss with this guy?
This stuff happens all the time. So if these players that Tennessee has in their recruiting class, let's say they're all high 3-stars. If they all got a bump today and they were low 4-stars, would it matter that much? No, not really. But perception would change everybody's opinion, and no one would be complaining.
Look at what Missouri and South Carolina are doing in recruiting right now.
Now, speaking of South Carolina, I did find out who was the
DB's coach. Was it a DB? Was it a current player?
No,
it wasn't a current player. They don't have a player coach.
No, it's a real coach.
Did you find out why he's not listed?
No, I didn't find all that out.
Is it a GA? Is it an actual coach?
It is an actual coach, man. It's an actual coach. I'm trying to see where.
While you find that, I'll make my point real quick. But Missouri has picked up a couple of 4-stars recently. They're trending in recruiting. South Carolina has picked up a ton of commitments over the last month.
He's a good one too, by the way. So he's not on South Carolina's website, but it's Antoine Gray. Antoine Gray was at Florida before South Carolina. So,
Florida has put out several top DBs. How long was he at Florida?
Just a couple years, 2019 to last year. Before, he was with the Washington football team. He was in the NFL.
Sounds like Derek Ansley.
And in 2016, he was the DB's coach, and that's when Tease Tabor got burnt by Juwan Jennings.
Teased by D's.
But before then, he was at Virginia Tech for 9 years, and Virginia Tech has put out a lot of DBs.
Yes, they have.
So I mean,
I wonder why they don't have him listed. I guess that's an oversight.
I mean, I was wondering, like, why would a player, pick South Carolina over going and playing for a guy like Woody Martinez? Antoine Gray has a good record too.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, he got a pretty good track record. So that explains everything.
It does. Right. But Missouri and South Carolina have a ton of momentum right now, and they've been able to pick up some 4-stars. And I do think Tennessee has momentum in recruiting right now. It's just not paying off. I won't even say paying off because I think it will pay off. Brody Foley, Tennessee's tight end commit, we talked about this after his official visit a week or so ago, that he said following his official visit at the end of June, that he felt like Tennessee, the coaches, the players did a really good job of recruiting in the month of June and that it was going to pay off in July. Well, Tennessee's already got 3 commitments in the month of July, and the 3 commitments all took official visits to Tennessee in the month of June. So, sure, it's one thing to look at a kid and say, okay, well, he took an official visit this weekend. Why didn't he commit? But why is that the judgment of Tennessee's ability to recruit? Because the kid did eventually commit. May not have committed that Monday or Tuesday after his visit, but he did commit along the line. So obviously his official visit had a positive impact on him, and there are several guys like that, in my opinion, where Tennessee this month, early next month, before high school football season, where they are going to reap the benefits of the month of June and the work that it put in. And let us not forget that Tennessee is recruiting with a dark cloud over its head. And it's not Josh Heupel's fault. There have been several kids that have mentioned to me about the concern about the looming NCAA punishments from the NCAA investigation, from the Jeremy Pruitt fallout. And while that's not the current coaching staff's fault, and while it may not be as egregious of a punishment as other schools are telling these kids that it's going to be, and while it won't necessarily affect the kids currently being recruited, I think it affects the current team more than it affects the recruits, but that's still being sold to them from other schools. Other schools are negatively recruiting Tennessee in that light and have made it a real concern for some recruits about the impending punishments from the NCAA investigation. So amongst all that, I still think personally that Heupel's recruiting pretty well right now, given the circumstances.
I just think you need to fix the most pressing issue with your football program if you're Tennessee. And the most pressing football issue is not a lack of talent. Now, if you are an SEC team, you always think you have a lack of talent, which is why you always are recruiting your butt off and you're trying to recruit to replace. You should always be in that mode. But Tennessee's biggest issue is not talent. Tennessee's biggest issue is fixing the culture and getting the most out of the guys that you do have. And once you're able to do that and you're able to, consistently beat Vanderbilt, who in the last 10 years we're 5-5 against, beating Kentucky, beating Ole Miss, beating South Carolina, beating Arkansas, beating Missouri, then you advance to the next level, like a game of Mario, and you go, okay, now we have to upgrade the level of players that we're bringing in, because now we know that we need to get better with our personnel. We've done more with less. Our scheme works. People are bought in. Our culture is positive. Now we're going to use that to attract better players. And now the next level is swinging at the bigger programs, the ones that have over the last 5 or 10 years have done it right. You can't just do things wrong for the last 10 years while they're doing everything right and then take a swing at them in year 1 or year 2 and expect that, you're going to knock them off and you're going to consistently beat them. Yeah. No, there's going to be some time to build it so that way you're competing with those dudes every Saturday. You have a chance to beat those guys every Saturday. You can't skip steps in the process. I think Pruitt and company try to skip some steps. You can't do it. And so when I see a player commit to Tennessee, whether it's 3-star, high 3-star, low 4-star, whatever, I see an opportunity for this staff to build a team of guys that fit what they want to do. That running back from Louisiana, from Dutchtown,
can run.
Man, that dude is fast as all get out.
And also, a guy that we've already talked about this morning that applies to this conversation. They pivoted from Jeremy Pruitt messing things up with Ty Simpson and Sam Horn and went out and got Taven Jackson, one of the best quarterback prospects in the country.
Pretty damn good. I wonder who's going to be better between Horn and Taven Jackson.
I think both are going to be really good. I really like Sam Horn.
Yeah, I wonder who's going to be better, though.
You know what I love about both of them? I love prospects in any sport that play multiple sports.
Yeah.
And both of those guys play multiple sports. I already talked about Jackson playing golf and basketball. And he doesn't just play either. He's like a standout in basketball and golf. And Sam Horn is a standout baseball player in addition to being a great football player. I think both are going to be really good.
Thing about recruiting, man, you won't know until 2-3 years down the road. So that's the way it works for 5 stars or 0 stars. You won't know until they play in college. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Be right back.
At work, can't call in? Don't feel bad. You can talk to the guys on the text box. It's part of the free Swain Event app.
It's a new season, which means it's time to rep your team in new ways with gear from Game Time Sidekicks. Rep the Vols with every sip with a new tie-dye tumbler or bottle. They also have a new NFL Players Association product line, so you can support your favorite VFL on Sundays. Want to put your own flair on a tumbler? Game Time Sidekicks has you covered with options to add your own text or even a monogram on the back of your favorite team tumbler. To check out everything that Game Time Sidekicks has to offer, go to GameTimeSidekicks.com. Carry your team with Game Time Sidekicks. Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over. More and more Tennessee businesses are switching to Iris Networks for reliable, local, high-quality, high-speed business fiber internet. Iris provides direct internet access from 10 megs to 10 gigs with no payments for 90 days. Iris also offers next-generation business phones with work-from-anywhere capability from the mobile or laptop app. With local sales, support, and service, Iris is a partner in the community. Learn more at irisnetworkusa.com or call 865-448-IRIS. Iris Networks, a Tennessee business connecting Tennessee businesses.
Good morning, Swain Event crew. As the weather heats up, so does our market, and from Johnson City to Knoxville, eager buyers are grabbing up many available properties. The chili is hot in East Tennessee, so if you are ready to buy or sell or want to talk more about our local real estate market, I'm just a phone call away. Or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. And go Vols!
I just wanted to come by and congratulate you on the great work you've been doing.
I like your style. You remind me of a young me.
Failure is not an option.
That boy is good.
Homes, remind yourself, nobody built like you. You design yourself.
Attaboy. Attaboy is brought to you by Made in Tennessee Business Fiber Internet from Iris Networks. Find business solutions for you at irisnetworksusa.com.
Bring on the positivity, bring on the good stories. And we do that each and every day here on the Swain Event. It's called Attaboy. Our segment's called Attaboy. It could be Attaboy, it could be Attagirl. This is where, again, we highlight positive stories, good stories, and Iris Networks specializing in reliable, local, high-quality business fiber, internet, and voice brings us Attaboy today. 90 days, no payment for business internet. Give them a call at 865-448-4747. And Ben, what do you have for us today?
2 quick attaboys. The first one is courtesy of DR Vol. He shared it with me last night on Twitter, so appreciate that, DR Vol. Danny Davis, who is a Longhorns beat writer. Hey, I actually sat next to this guy in Omaha. And says that all of the proceeds will go to No Kid Hungry, which obviously is a campaign that aims to end childhood hunger in the United States. So the NCAA tried to warn us just about how egregious this NIL is going to be and how greedy people are going to become and how greedy student athletes are going to be and just the nastiness that it is going to create. Well, NCAA, here's a great thing. a Texas football player, Casey Thompson, charging $50 on Cameo, and all the proceeds are going to go to No Kid Hungry. And you've also seen a lot of players try to set things up to where they can help their teammates as well, which has been really cool. My other attaboy goes to Shohei Ohtani. And I'm telling you right now, I went on a little spill about him at the end of a show last week. Anytime I get a chance to talk about Shohei Ohtani, I'm going to do it. I am mesmerized by this guy. I mean, I have the MLB TV package, and I have the Angels game on my iPad, on my phone, on my second TV, on my laptop, my main TV. I have the Angels game on in my house every single night just because I want to watch Shohei Ohtani. Just because I want to watch Shohei Ohtani. What he is doing is unheard of, and he gets an attaboy today because he was named to the All-Star game, but he just wasn't named to the All-Star game. He was named as both a pitcher and a hitter.
Is he doing the Derby?
He is not doing the Derby.
Oh,
or maybe he is. I can't remember.
Got to do the Derby.
A lot of guys don't like doing the Derby because it messes up they feel like that it messes up their swing. And there's been a lot of evidence. Aaron Judge went crazy at the home run Derby. He is doing it. Cool. Appointment television. This year's Derby, read off those names if you don't mind.
Ohtani, Pete, Alfonso, Trevor Story, Trey, Mancini.
He's the guy who had cancer and didn't get to play last year and came back. We featured him on Attaboy earlier this year.
Salvador Perez, and then they have 3 spots open so far.
Pete Alonso. I don't like him. A, he's a Met. B, he played at Florida, so he can step in.
Alonso?
Alfonso.
There ain't no F in there. I'm tripping.
He looks like an Alfonso. But Shohei Ohtani, the first player in Major League Baseball history to be a 2-way All-Star, and he is going to
amazing.
He is going to both pitch and hit in the All-Star game. He's going to be in the Home Run Derby. This is next week. I believe the Home Run Derby is next Monday or Tuesday, and the All-Star game is the day after. So, like I said last week, he's the best player in baseball right now, and I don't even think it's close. And if he's appointment television. Go out of your way to watch him. Something exciting happens every time he steps in the batter's box or on the mound.
Yeah, Monday the 12th, we get the home run, Derby. So that's what I'm here for, man. I'm here for the home runs. Hour 2 coming up.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
When you see the happy face on our truck, you'll be smiling because you'll know that you're in love.
At Hiller, we care about your family's comfort all year long. If you get caught without air conditioning this summer, we're offering a free service call with any repair. That's a free service call when we do the work on your HVAC system. Visit happyhiller.com to schedule your appointment today.
Call the happy face truck today.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at GarzaLaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Touchdown or turnover is backed by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong.
Swain Event fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. It is time for hour number 2, which is started by touchdown turnover. Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, place where you belong, better rates and better service. We got game 1 of the NBA Finals. Game 1 of the NBA Finals tonight between the Phoenix Suns, and the Milwaukee Bucks. I want to ask you, man, touchdown turnover. Finals this year, better or more excitement, let's say more excitement, than finals last year? That was in the bubble. At the Lakers, you had the Heat in the bubble. Now you're outside the bubble. You are at home arenas. But do you think there's going to be more excitement surrounding this series than it was surrounding last year's series between the Lakers and the Heat, and the game was in the bubble? Because I asked you this, I don't know how much buzz there is between these two teams, man. So I asked you, man, more excitement this year's finals versus last year's finals?
I say turnover. I think there was more excitement for last year's finals than this year's final. A, you had the Lakers, point blank period.
Mm-hmm.
B, LeBron and AD played for the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
But also, that Miami team, I think, would beat this Suns team and this Bucks team. That Miami team was fun to watch this year, and you could kind of see the effects of them playing in the finals this season. They were not the same basketball team. So I do think that last year's finals were more exciting. I looked forward to watching last year's finals more than this year's finals, and I'll still watch. I'm not one who needs the Lakers or the Warriors or the Knicks, those big market teams. I'm not one who needs them in the finals every year like a lot of people talk about. I do recognize that it is better for the sport, better for viewership when the Lakers and teams like that are in the finals. But personally, because I am a NBA fan, I don't need it. I'm going to watch whoever is in the finals. And as a fan of a small market team, I appreciate that Milwaukee and Phoenix are in the finals. It gives me hope that maybe Ja Morant can lead the Grizzlies to a championship one day. I do wish that Giannis was healthy and could, soak in his time. This is his time to shine, and because of the injury, he's not going to be able to soak it in as much. Because who knows how much he'll be able to play. I don't think he's been completely ruled out.
Not playing game one.
No.
Reports say he's doubtful.
Yeah, so I hate that. I like Giannis. He's one of my favorite players who doesn't play for the Grizzlies. I know he's not a shooter, and that doesn't necessarily bode well in today's NBA, but he's still fun to watch. He's a freak. Nobody can stop him when he's trying to get to the basket. And I love his personality. I think he has an awesome personality that I enjoy. So I'd like to see the Bucks win it for him. And honestly, I've come around to Chris Middleton over the last week and a half. What he was able to do.
Best player on the team.
Better than Giannis?
Yep.
I don't want to get into that conversation because that wasn't the point of me bringing him up. But I think he's very underrated, and he gets too much hate and shade thrown his way. So I appreciated him stepping up without Giannis and coming through and him receiving his flowers. I know Josiah Jordan-James was very happy about Chris Middleton playing well because Chris Middleton and Josiah are both from Charleston, South Carolina. So that's why.
Kim English, they was drafted same year by the same organization with the Pistons.
Yep, that's right.
Yep.
So that's Josiah's guy, his favorite player, and because that is his favorite player, the Bucks are his favorite team. So I'm happy for Chris Paul. I hated Chris Paul for a long time because he played for the Clippers, and the Clippers and Grizzlies had quite the run-ins early last decade. And Chris Paul can be annoying, but he's another guy that deserves his flowers and one of the all-time great point guards. And I mean, I put him on that list of Charles Barkley and Dan Marino of just amazing talents who never won a championship. And so it would be cool to see him win a title. But I hope the Bucks. I would rather see Giannis and Chris Middleton win a title than Devin Booker. Stupid Wildcat.
Yeah, I'm going to go turnover. I think last year's final, heading into game one, more exciting. The Heat was on fire.
Pun intended?
Yeah, pun intended. They was on fire, man. They was on heat. And then, the Lakers, historical franchise, Anthony Davis, and LeBron James, first year, together. And they were healthy. Even though Anthony Davis still was kind of battling something last year too. This year, I don't know, man. Just something about this matchup it just doesn't bring a lot of excitement. But I'm going for the Suns. I want to see Chris Paul go ahead and get one. I think that would be pretty cool. And I'm a big Dev Booker fan. I like Giannis as a player, as a competitor. I don't like watching him play because I don't understand how you can be a professional basketball player and not improve his shot in the offseason. It makes no sense to me. But I'm going to watch every game just because I'm an NBA basketball fanatic. So I'll be watching every game. And I'll throw in some baseball too, man. All right. So question from
hold on. Real quick. Who do you want to win?
Suns. Yeah, I want
the Bucks to win.
Yeah, I want the Suns to win.
Screw your Suns.
Yeah, I'm going for the Suns.
Did you order your Devin Booker Kentucky jersey yet?
Nah, man. I'm going. I like Devin Booker's game, and Chris Paul. I want to see him win one, and I just like their chemistry. I like how hard they play. I like their style of play. And I love Monty Williams too. So I'm going for the Suns, man. I'm going for the Suns. Our question from our number one was, which is more detrimental to the SEC, the NIL or interconference transferring? More detrimental to the SEC. Now, just because it's detrimental to we may feel like it hurts the SEC more or hurts teams inside the SEC, doesn't mean it's going to hurt every single team. We know Alabama plays by different rules, and not much is going to affect them because, they're the top of the top. But, we were talking about this before the show. Of course, the NIL is going to be a huge part of recruiting, and players are going to take their visits and see what fits them from a football perspective, but they're also going to, see what fits them from a business perspective too, especially quarterbacks. When you look around the country, quarterbacks are getting the deals, man. They're getting the national deals. I saw where Spencer Rattler, Oklahoma's quarterback, got a national food chain. These are the guys that's getting the deals. Bo Nix got a national food product that we see, mainstream. I did see an Alabama player get the same deal, but he was not a quarterback. I think it was like a skill position player. Bryce Young signed with CAA.
They've had that. That's what I've seen with Alabama, and really throughout the country, is a lot of guys sign with organizations like CAA to help them.
Yeah, CAA, Creative Artists Agency, which correct me if I'm wrong, probably is the biggest agency in sports. They have, of course, Jimmy Sexton's part of that, but they have a huge arms in different sports, and they have a marketing arm too. And so that's what Bryce Young, Alabama's quarterback, has signed too. So you're lucky, NCAA. Not really, but have fun trying to manage all that. But you feel like, Ben, that the interconference transferring is more of an issue for you than the NIL, and kind of what's your take on that?
Well, I don't know about you, but I kind of separate the two.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have two separate issues. On one hand, it's the interconference transferring, and honestly, just transferring in general is an issue. I mean, look at just the amount of guys, whether it be football, basketball, baseball, softball. I mean, just any sport. Just the amount of athletes that are in the transfer portal is alarming, and it's alarming because so many of these athletes enter the portal and think that they're going to find greener grass on the other side, or think that they're going to be able to find a home, and there's just not enough homes for the amount of people in the transfer portal. So I do think just transfers in general is a problem, but obviously we see the interconference transferring more prevalent because we are in SEC territory. I was looking at Georgia's basketball roster over the weekend, and they have 3 guys that transferred to other SEC schools. And part of that is a Tom Crean issue there at Georgia. And I believe that if COVID had not taken place, I think he would have gotten fired because his buyout is 7.2 right now, and it goes down to 3.7 after this season. And Georgia, who has a very good track and field program, lost their coach over the last couple of months during the track off season. Forgive me for not being up to date on when the track off season is. But Georgia lost its esteemed coach because they would not commit to a new $20 million facility. And it wasn't that Georgia didn't want to commit to the program or build this new facility for the track program, but it would have cost $20 million, and then you throw in a $7 million buyout for Tom Crean. And although Georgia has the money because football has been doing so well, if you give Tom Crean $7 million to go away, you give $20 million out to the track and field program, then all of a sudden you've kind of lost all the money that you've built up in your savings account, so to speak. If you're if something does come up with football, you maybe don't necessarily have the funds anymore to put it out there. So Tom Crean has his own separate issues, and I think he would have gotten fired if COVID had not happened, because I think Georgia would have been more willing to pay that buyout, is what I was getting at. But still, I mean, Severe Wheeler, probably the most underrated player in the SEC last year because of the team that he played for. A great point guard. He transfers to Kentucky. And I know there's not East and West in SEC basketball, but the SEC football fan, or just the SEC fan in general, it still feels like East and West in basketball. It feels like Georgia and Kentucky are more connected than Georgia and Texas A&M in basketball. So Severe Wheeler transfers to Kentucky. Katie Johnson, a talented freshman that they had, transfers to Auburn, just right down the road, and Georgia and Auburn do not like each other. And then they had Ty Fagan, a veteran guard, who transferred to Ole Miss. And I think that's more of an issue, because I honestly don't know how much of an issue the NIL is going to be. Like, I'm coming around to it being more of a positive for student athletes and for the sport, because to me it's just basic human rights of young men and young women being able to profit off their name, image, and likeness. I think anybody should be able to do that, regardless of age and gender and profession. Like, anybody in any walk of life should be able to profit off of themselves and their talent. So there will obviously be some headaches, and there will be situations that pop up where people take advantage of the system. But to me, the transfer, I think it's a bigger issue, because it's a yearly thing. And it's not even like a yearly thing in the sense of, okay, for football it's going to happen every December and January. This is happening all throughout the year, and the SEC has implemented dates in which they have to insert their name in the transfer portal by. But still, just the wavering back and forth between players, whether they want to stay, whether they want to go. And I hate the transferring within the conference. I get why the players do it, and I think they should have that choice. But as a fan, I hate it, because it doesn't feel like we can still have that same passion for rooting for these players, because they could up and leave at any time. And go to Alabama, go to Florida. I mean, Henry To'oTo'o he ended up at Alabama, obviously, but he was considering Florida. I mean, that was kind of his second-tier team there after Alabama. So, I mean, Henry T could have easily ended up at Florida as well. I just don't like it.
So I think the interconference transfer is going to be a bigger problem for the SEC than NIL. But I think when you combine the two, it can create a huge issue. If I'm at one school and another school is wanting me, not only can you have tampering going on, you can use the NIL to sell that player on transferring and coming to your school. So I think the combination of the two can, be an issue for the SEC. We understand that NIL by itself is something that needs to be done, and you want these kids to have opportunity to make money off their name. But we know how the SEC rolls. They're going to take something that is meant to serve one purpose. They're going to take it and twist it to try to serve a purpose that benefits them in recruiting. It's going to turn that way. And so how do you manage it? How do you control it? You look at Master P. His son is a freshman at Tennessee State, and he just signed a marketing deal for $2 million. How do you know what's fair market value? How do you know what's too much and what's not enough? You don't know. So I think when you mix the NIL and when you mix interconference transferring, these ADs, these coaches, they're gonna have some issues. I saw a quote from one coach, I think it was an anonymous coach, that was like, we're gonna be spending more time, helping guys get deals, recruiting guys from the portal than we do, high school players. If you want to get good players, you gotta make sure they got good deals to attract good players. And maybe it comes to that sooner than later, but I think it will come to that. I have seen where some players, some quarterbacks, some higher profile players talked about sharing, what they earn with some of their teammates. And that sounds good. Probably easier said than done because unlike basketball or volleyball or tennis, man, football, there's a lot of dudes. There's a lot of guys in that locker room. So if you split a pie, 50 ways, man, you got a bite, maybe a bite. But if you split a pie, only 5 ways, you got a bigger slice. So it sounds good that these players want to share with their teammates, but man, in football, it's just harder because there's so many players on a team. So who are you sharing with? You sharing with the entire team, including the walk-ons, or you sharing with the first team guys or the guys in your position group? So, man, a lot of things.
Or in Tennessee's case, the walk-on is sharing with the rest of the team.
True, that's right. Walk-ons putting everybody else on.
Shout out to Grant Fur King.
Even guys who play on rival squads.
Good business decision by him.
Hey, man, business is business, but still.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Tennessee Tiger in the text box says, can coaches still block transfers? Will we see more of that now? No, coaches can't block it. Coaches can't block it. I remember when Derek Dooley was blocking DeAnthony Arnett's transfer to Michigan State initially. And when you hear Tennessee, Michigan State, you ask yourself, well, why would Dooley block that? Like, why? It's Michigan State. You don't play him. You don't really recruit against him all that much, even though you do. But it was the principle. Michigan State was tampering. They was tampering with DeAnthony Arnett when he was still here at Tennessee. And so the last thing you want as a coach is to have your players being recruited by another school while they're still here. But now the coaches can't do anything about it. The NIL will create more of a distraction. More of a distraction. Where are you going to put your focus? You're going to put your focus on your football, on A, or you're going to put it on the NIL? And that's kind of what I'm looking at in college with these college athletes. Will people be able to see a difference in you, difference in your focus? Will they be able to see that you're distracted, that your eyes are not on the prize of getting better, individually and for your team, so your team can go compete for a championship? That's going to be the biggest issue, is guys being distracted. Hour 2 continues after this.
I'm Vince Moore, wide receiver, VFL 1991, and you're listening to the Swain Event.
When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to OFOKnox.com. That's OFOKnox.com.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss stem cell treatment and PRP. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
That's right, Jason. We specialize in regenerative non-surgical orthopedics. So we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints by using ultrasound-guided injections with stem cells or PRP. And this form of treatment actually stimulates the body's own reparative process and allows for healing of the damaged tissue.
So, Doc, what makes your training different than others?
Well, Jason, I've been practicing in Knoxville for 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. So unlike the big seminars that will advertise stem cells, fly someone in for a couple hours to talk about supposed stem cells that you order off of a shelf, then they'll depart, leaving the patient wondering who will be the person injecting me and what their level of training is. At Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own bone marrow stem cells or PRP. So in other words, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, trsportsmedicine.com. East Tennessee's leader in PRP and stem cell therapy.
Swain Event, fueled by Daddy and Barbecue. It's time for Around the SEC. Hiller is celebrating the home of the free all July long with special deals for customers. Get your free grilling must-haves when you make your home improvements. Deal includes a free Yeti Tundra cooler with the purchase of a new tankless water heater. Also, you get a free Traeger wood pellet grill with the purchase of a new whole home generator. Also, another free Traeger wood pellet grill with the purchase of select new HVAC systems. So whenever you need to make those improvements and adjustments to your home, you can rest assured that more is coming with that. Either a Yeti cooler or a free Traeger wood pellet grill. That is special right now in July from Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. Hiller's work is always backed by their happy you'll be or the service is free guarantee. So if they do work for you, you're not happy, the service is free. Hiller, proud sponsors of the National Predators and the Tennessee Volunteers. That is Hiller's July specials right now. All right, Ben, what do we have for Around the SEC?
And proud sponsors of the Swain Event.
That's right. That's right.
2 transfer notes. The first, according to Matt Zenitz of On3 Sports, Auburn running back Devin Barrett has entered the transfer portal, a former 4-star recruit who switched back to running back earlier this year after he spent some time as a defensive back. The other portal news is that ex-Tennessee linebacker J.J. Peterson, the top-ranked player in Tennessee's 2018 recruiting class, is set to spend this season at a junior college. Sounds like it will be one of the JUCOs in Mississippi. So there's you a J.J. Peterson update.
Like there's nothing definite about J.J. Peterson.
Ever.
Like, he signed and come to Tennessee, but there was no definite arrival time. And then he just shows up a week before the season starts. And then when he gets here, there wasn't a definite position for him or where he was going to play or if he was going to play. There was always questions around J.J. Peterson. There's always more questions than answers. And then the way he entered the transfer portal was really unlike anyone else. It just, like, it took forever for the official announcement to be made that he was in the transfer portal. And then in the transfer portal, he's not even going to another D1 school. He's going to a JUCO. And even with the decision to go to a JUCO, there's not a definite destination on that.
Somewhere in the state of Mississippi.
What JUCO in the state of Mississippi is he going to go to? It could be 50. It could be one of 50. Golly, man.
J.J. Peterson going to J.J. Peterson. Two other quick things. Colin Castleton, Florida's big man from last year, he announced over the weekend that he is going to return for his senior season. He was considering the NBA draft, but did decide to return to school. And according to Eric Fawcett, who covers Florida for GatorCountry.com, covers Florida basketball, that is, for GatorCountry.com, the rival site that covers Florida. He made a note on Florida's basketball experience for this upcoming season now that Colin Castleton is back. Next year's roster for Florida has an average of 2.25 years of experience, so almost 2.5 years of experience. That would have made them the 41st most experienced team last year, much more veteran group than recent years. And he went back and ranked the Florida basketball experience over the last couple of years. And last year, they were 347th. The year before that, they're 269th. Nice. 2018, 114th. 2017, of course, that was the year that Florida made the Elite 8. They were 71st in experience, and then the year prior, they're 288th. So Florida has not had many experienced basketball teams, and they will this year. Again, with Castleton coming back, they have an average of 2.25 years of experience and would have made them the 41st most experienced team last year. So I thought it was interesting that Colin Castleton was really trying to show off his three-point shot at the NBA Combine, something that he did not do a ton of at Florida this past season, and apparently he was making a lot of them. So sounds like we're going to have a Colin Castleton that tries to expand the floor this upcoming season. I bet he'll do the Grant Williams and Kyle Alexander special, that trailing three at the top of the key, or post up in the corner.
I would
let somebody penetrate and then kick it out to him if nothing's there.
Hey, you get that feedback from the NBA. They tell you what they want to see, and well, how do you not listen to what the NBA scouts tell you? But then you have your coach that wants you to play within a certain framework in their offense, and it may not include shooting as much threes. What do you do? That's a tough position to be in.
It was the position that Grant Williams was in, and Admiral to a certain extent. Admiral, let it fly.
He's making them too.
Jordan Bone too, especially at the NCAA tournament.
Yeah. So I mean, that's I've never been in a position where like I've gotten feedback from scouts where it's like, all right, we want you to. Of course, they want you to be faster at wide receiver, but like that's something you can do, and that benefits the team.
Mm-hmm.
You shooting threes sometimes may not benefit the team. They may not be what the offense wants you to do. So, that's different.
It's time to play a game now, Swain. Guessing game. Put your guessing hat on. Learfield Directors Cup announced the nation's top all-around sports programs for the past academic year. Can you guess the top 5?
I'm putting Tennessee in there.
Not even in the top 20.
Really? Because, I mean, outside of football, the rest of them doing pretty well. Okay, so no top 20 for Tennessee. I'm guessing Alabama's in there.
Alabama was 7th.
They got a couple sports doing pretty well,
but not in the top 5.
This SEC?
No, just overall.
Overall?
Mm-hmm. Top 5 athletic programs in the country. There is one SEC school in the top 5.
Oh, boy. Is it Florida?
Florida is number 5.
As far as number 1, it's usually like Stanford's up there.
Texas is, well, I just gave it away. Texas is number 1. Stanford is number 2.
Yeah, Stanford's usually up there.
And then, would you like to guess the other 2, or would you like for me to tell you?
I'd like for you to tell me.
Michigan is 3rd. North Carolina is 4th. As far as SEC teams, Florida was 5th. Alabama 7th. Arkansas was 8th. Georgia was 10th. Kentucky was 12th. LSU was 15th. Texas A&M was 19th. That was the SEC schools in the top 20.
And that's for
the Learfield Directors Cup.
And that's for like the entire athletic program.
Yes.
Points.
Yes. Which, remember, some of those schools, like a Stanford, has 1 million sports that they are. Not only do they have 1 million sports, but then they win in those sports as well.
Yeah, they do a lot outside of football and basketball. They do a lot, have a lot of sports. Like you just mentioned, they're pretty good at it too. CJ Vol says I knew Stanford was in there. Florida. Did you hear that Shackelford was leaving Bama, ATL, VFL? Yeah, we talked about that on Friday.
He officially entered the portal Sunday or Monday. But we did, as Swain just said, we talked about it on Friday.
LC Vol, Danny, and Tony Vitello. LC Vol, I want you to show your work. Are y'all going to keep carrying water for Danny, or are y'all going to talk about him not getting the deal done yet with Tony V?
I would like to know what's going on.
I would like to know.
On you
I would like to know
carrying water.
Yeah, I would like to know where water has been carried at LC Vol. I would love to know that. So please show your work if you'll make that statement. But the fact that this deal has not been done is not good to me.
Yeah, I don't think it's in a good spot.
It's not good. There's no reason why this deal should not be done already. And there was a moment where, and I'm not taking sides on this deal, because I've heard like both sides are have been stubborn. I've heard both sides. There was a time and place when Tony Vitello had a deal right there in front of him, and Sexton was not his agent. Now Sexton is his agent, and so I'm sure that's made things a lot more complicated. But I don't blame Tony Vitello for going out and getting the best agent in college sports to represent me, to prevent me from having a deal like he had when he first signed here at Tennessee. He's earned the right to generate and put himself in position to get as many guarantees as possible. Tony Vitello has earned the right to be mentioned with some of the other top jobs in America. The thing is, all those jobs are pretty much closed. So Tony has lost a little bit of a leverage because those jobs are not open anymore. But on Tennessee's side, there's not a rush with Danny White to work with agents, is what I'm hearing. And that doesn't mean just Jimmy Sexton. That just means agents in general. And if I'm an AD, and I said this previously, if I'm an AD, agents are not my best friend. Agents have been sucking college programs for money in the last 10 years. They've pushed the market and bankrupt a lot of these universities. So I don't blame any AD for not necessarily being thrilled to work with an agent, but at the same time,
doesn't mean you shouldn't.
You gotta do what you have to do.
Part of the job.
It's part of the job, and you have to secure coaches who have proven that they can do the job, who have proven that they can build and that they're winners. And you can't allow that to get in the way of getting a deal done. So it's not cut and dry as, all right, this guy wants money, he wants more money, and he wants more money for his assistants. Because if that was just the case, this deal would have been done. There's a lot more. And Tony Vitello, this will be maybe the only time, maybe another one, but this is the first time where Tony has been able to, demand things and possibly get them. He's earned this right. When he was just getting hired, he didn't have a lot of leverage. He didn't have a leg to stand on to be demanding this and that. You just better be happy you got a head coaching job. Now that he has turned Tennessee baseball program into a national program, now he can demand things. And then Tennessee has to decide, are those demands something that they can fulfill, or are they realistic? Are they unrealistic? Are they something that we can do now? Is it something that we can't do right now, but we got to wait 3 years from now, 5 years from now? And if you're Tony Vitello, you wasn't hired by Danny White. So how much do you buy? How much do you trust? Do you trust? Like, these are all things that are being weighed, in my opinion. So, because I'm not in the negotiation room, I don't know who is at fault more today. I know that both sides have been stubborn. That's what I know.
I want to address a couple of things that you said. I want to go back to your point about Tony Vitello not having any leverage.
Not as much. Not as much as he.
Yes.
Not as much.
Not as much leverage now that those jobs have
still got leverage,
closed up. I'm going to come back to that in just a moment. In regards to why things have slowed down considerably, and there's been some buzz that it'll get done this week, but I mean I've even heard as early as today. But I believe it when I see it. That's the type of mode I'm in at this point, because it was supposed to be done last Monday.
It's supposed to be done last
Monday, last Tuesday, and both sides going into that weekend on Friday night, that a week from last Friday, both sides felt really close.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee felt close. Tony Vitello's side felt close, from my understanding. And then things slowed down considerably, and have slowed down considerably. And in my opinion, from what I gather, it's not because Tony Vitello is asking for too much money. It's not because he is asking for, too much money for his assistants. It's because somewhere along the line, either something was, and this is all in relation to stadium renovations. Somewhere along the lines, he was told something was going to happen, and either what he was told was going to happen has been lessened. It's not what he was told, or it's not going to happen at all. So, to me, from what I gather, from what I understand, that is kind of what has brought things. That's the main thing that has brought things to a standstill. And going back to your point about not having as much leverage, you're right. He doesn't have as much leverage as he did 2 weeks ago when the LSU job was open. But here's where, if you're Tennessee, you need to pull a seat up to the table and hammer this thing out. Because there may not be any jobs available right now.
Mm-hmm.
But if you spoil this relationship throughout this process, next year, when a job comes open, he may leave because of how you handled this situation.
Mm-hmm.
So, sure, technically, he doesn't have as much leverage, but I still think he has as much leverage as he had before, just because if he wanted to, he could leave next offseason or the offseason after that. If you continue down this road that you're on, you're going to spoil that relationship with Tony Vitello. And Tony Vitello is a very loyal person, truly is. You've heard him talk about on many different radio shows about the loyalty T-shirt that he had made on purpose, and how much of a goal it is for he and his assistant coaches to stick together. Loyalty is everything to Tony Vitello.
Mm-hmm.
But, if you cross him, mislead him, something along those lines, he's not one to just easily forgive. And I don't blame him, because if I had a bill of goods sold to me and it came time to, work something out, or it came time to sort through that bill of goods and get something done, and you either lessen the bill of goods or you don't even present the bill of goods the way that you initially brought it up, that would rub me the wrong way as well. So, yeah, technically he doesn't have as much leverage this cycle as he did 2 weeks ago when the LSU job was open. But this is one off season, and there will be other jobs open next off season. So
Yeah.
I would strongly encourage Tennessee to sit down, pull a chair up to the table, and hammer this thing out.
Yeah, I mean this notion that that only one person has an ego. I think both guys have an ego. How do you not have an ego and play and be as confident as Tony Vitello is, and how he allows his team to be? You got to have an ego. It's hard for you to be successful at this level without believing in yourself, and having an ego. Danny White certainly has one as well. And when you have two guys that have an ego, this type of negotiation is not unrealistic from happening. Now, who's going to look bad in this if both sides, if Tony Vitello's not happy, or he leaves after a year or whatever? Danny White is the one that's going to look bad, because Tony Vitello is loved. Tony Vitello is the coach who's been here. People have seen him take a squad that was just treading above water in the SEC, and in 4 years, take it to the World Series. So public perception is, if this deal doesn't get done, it's going to be Danny White's fault. It could be Tony Vitello's fault. It could be. I'm not saying that it's not or it is. I'm just saying it could be, but Danny White's going to get blamed for anything that doesn't happen positively, whether he deserves it or not. And at this point, I don't know at this very moment who is at fault for this deal not being done at this moment. I don't know that.
At this point, I'm willing to say that it's on Tennessee's end.
Yeah, well,
I'm willing to go there. I'm willing to say at this point that it's on Tennessee's.
Tennessee got to step up, and I don't know.
You were quick to make some comments to the local newspaper about committing to the baseball program. Now it's time to do it. Make it happen.
I want to know like the details of what is missing for this deal to be done. So, like, you can make a commitment to the baseball program, but are we talking dropping $30 million today on the stadium renovations? Or are we talking 5 now, 10 now, 15 later, and then another 15 and another point? Like, there's so much nuance here. Like, what is Tennessee being asked to do that is holding this thing up? Is it maybe promising to invest in a stadium with funds that maybe they don't even have right now? Is it that? Or is it investing now when they were told, well, Tony Vitello was told we would do it now, and maybe you're reneging? Or like, I want to know the details.
Yeah.
That's what I want to know.
I mean, that is definitely important.
That's what I want to know.
I think another possibility could be that a set amount was maybe laid out, and now it's time to punch the clock, and it's not what was said earlier. I think that's also a possibility.
So I just got a little bit more insight, and I am told the deal is all but done. It's all but done. Tony's been recruiting, and Tony obviously wanted some more money for his staff, and there's not been like a detailed plan on how that's going to happen with the staff. But the stadium enhancements are a big deal of that as well. But the deal is all but done. So I don't think there's a reason to be worked up. For those that are getting, starting to get mad and getting the pitchforks ready and starting to light fires, I don't think, you need to do that. This deal should have been done. There were some other things that had to be handled, but the deal is all but done. So that's where we are. That's the update I just received in the last 5 minutes. So let's go to the phones.
We got DR Vol.
DR Vol, good morning.
Swain, as Tennessee fans, so we don't have to get ready when we stay ready with the pitchfork.
Oh, yeah, you already know.
Especially you.
Yeah, well, you got to keep people on their toes. Guys, I'm pouring one out this morning for my boy, J.J. Peterson. How do y'all think that affects the depth chart?
I don't think it affects it at all.
Well, technically Tennessee can re-recruit J.J. Peterson, sign him out of JUCO for a second time.
If it comes to that, Ben, I say cancel the season. We're in dire straits. We have to re-recruit that guy.
Who knows, man? Maybe he goes there and he lights out like Sean Merriam, and then he is a different player, and you can bring him back.
Hey, I'd be for that. I mean, hopefully he goes down there and gets a little humbled and gets his head on right.
Yeah, honestly, it's concerning that he's going to a JUCO, not going to a school, in the era where you can go anywhere you want to without sitting out. It's kind of weird to me.
Especially like he's 3 years removed from high school.
Yeah,
he's not leaving after his true freshman season. I mean, he's gonna be an old man at JUCO. He's 3 years removed from high school.
Yeah, but how many years of eligibility does he have? I mean, one of those he probably count as a red shirt, and then he had the COVID year. I mean, he's going to be a doctor.
Yeah, I think he's
By
a.
the time his senior season rolls around.
I think he's a redshirt. I think this year he'll be a redshirt sophomore.
Yeah,
So and
great.
then this year he'll play his redshirt sophomore at a JUCO. I think he'll have 2 years. He'll have 2 or 3 years after JUCO. I think 2. I'm not sure. Who knows?
What was his first year? 18?
18 was his redshirt year.
And then he played
redshirted 19.
And then 20 don't count. So he got 3 years.
But he'll
like
he'll
LeBron
play
playing
yes, but
kid, ain't he?
after JUCO though.
After JUCO,
so he's using one of his 3 this year as a redshirt
He'll have
sophomore.
2.
Yes.
He got 2 years.
So it all still work out, but still he's an old man playing junior college ball.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Does that mean we get to go back to the segment where Volstorm comes in? Want to know if you've heard anything about J.J. Peterson?
Man, I miss those days. We got to go back to that.
I do too.
Yeah.
We were so young and hopeful back then, weren't we?
Yep. Yep.
Well, Ben, you did say on VolQuest, I guess about a week and a half ago, you expected it by Monday. You didn't specify which Monday, so I'm for real pulling for it to be today, so you can be correct.
Well, technically today's not Monday, but I feel you.
Oh crap! Yeah, you're right, man. I'm telling you, you give me one day off, it throws a month off for me.
I thought it was Monday today too.
I did too.
Yeah, but Austin Price is coming on, which we know is not Monday; it's Tuesday.
Yeah. Well, guys, that's about all I got. Honestly, I'm just very depressed over J.J. Peterson, and I would like daily updates. Maybe he'll release a top 15 and let us know his DMs are open. See you.
See you. Von Birmingham says Danny or someone on the staff was listening and was like, text Swain now and let him know all is good before Vol Twitter gets going. No, I ain't talked to anybody from Tennessee about Danny White and Tony Vitello's contract stuff. So
Tony has been out on the road recruiting. We mentioned that last weekend. He was in Atlanta the first weekend after they lost. And then this past weekend, he was out in L.A. and then ventured on down to San Diego to see Padres manager Jace. I forget his name. It's Jace Stringler or something like that. But he was in San Diego as well to check out the Padres, visit with the Padres manager. So he has been all over the place, but still.
Gotta get this deal done, man.
It's going to get done. That is not a concern. The concern is making sure that you don't upset him in the process.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't, as of today, I don't have an update on that right now. But we will, I'm sure, at some point. Hour 3 coming up.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Guys, your health right now is more important than ever. I recommend Low T Center. That's where I get my levels checked. It all starts with the annual wellness exam where they do a comprehensive health assessment exclusively for men, making it quick and easy to take care of your health. And now they offer monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatment. Most insurance is accepted. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment and make your health a priority. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at GarzaLaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
More and more Tennessee businesses are switching to Iris Networks for reliable, local, high-quality, high-speed business fiber internet. Iris provides direct internet access from 10 megs to 10 gigs with no payments for 90 days. Iris also offers next-generation business phones with work-from-anywhere capability from the mobile or laptop app. With local sales, support, and service, Iris is a partner in the community. Learn more at irisnetworkusa.com or call 865-448-IRIS. Iris Networks, a Tennessee business connecting Tennessee businesses.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
It is Tuesday. It is hour number 3 on the Swain Event, which means it is time to connect with our guy, Austin Price of VolQuest.com. His time is brought to you by Jennifer Morris with Keller Williams Realty. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, her telephone number is 865-257-7897. AP, man, are you recovering from a long weekend of fireworks? Are you recovered?
Yeah. I saw people on my Facebook or HOA Facebook page last night complaining because, it was July 5th and people were still shooting off fireworks. And I was like, well, most people were off of work yesterday because that was a recognized day. So I'm not surprised people were shooting off fireworks still. I actually got a big kick out of people that got, offended at fireworks at 9 o'clock. It was really upsetting there.
Were you shooting fireworks off yesterday, Austin?
I was not. I just enjoy others' fireworks. So, no, I don't. After a couple of the mishaps and then what happened to Terry on the video, I stay away. I don't need to, lose any limbs or anything like that. I just, rather be safe and watch somebody else do it.
That's the best position to be in, man, is to have a neighbor that goes out the way to buy all the fireworks and do all that stuff. So you can enjoy them, but without, throwing down $300 just to see it go up in the air and explode in 30 minutes.
Not when you have a dog.
Yeah, well, I understand dogs don't like fireworks, but.
Austin, how did your dog handle the fireworks?
He handled it pretty well. And now, granted, we kept him, we kept him inside, so we weren't going to let him outside. It was funny. Fireworks were going off, so I told my wife, I'm going to take a drive. I'll be back in like 5 minutes. So I just kind of drove around for a few minutes, and when I was leaving my house, I see this girl walking, she's literally carrying her dog. It's July 4th at dusk. what about that thought that was a good time to take your dog for a walk? I mean,
you know what's about to happen.
So perturbed.
You know what's about to happen. No reason to be surprised, lady. July, Austin, we've seen other SEC schools kind of go on a 2-commitment, 3-commitment run in a span of a couple days. Carolina did it. Kentucky did it a couple months ago. But Tennessee last week, not only football but a basketball too. But Tennessee gets Messiah Reddick. You go out and you put a cluster together, and it looks like Tennessee is not done. But just kind of walk us through kind of Tennessee football coaches, staff room. Maybe folks that you've talked to up there, just about their reaction on last week's run with the commitments.
I think they were pleased. I do think that, in recruiting in general, you're going to see a lot of kids commit in the next 6 weeks. I mean, you started to see it last week with, it wasn't just Tennessee getting a few, it was everybody. I mean, most of these kids are like, well, get through June and then kind of look it over and then do something. Well, you're starting to see that. They're starting to do things. And so I think Tennessee's, likely going to end up with, a few more in the boat between now and the middle of August. I said this last night on our Monday night chat, Jason. The most important recruit to me is Addison Nichols, the offensive lineman from Greater Atlanta Christian. His grandparents live here, same street as Rick Barnes. His parents went to school here. He's been up here so many times. He grew up going to Long's drugstore. He knows Miss Ruthie behind the counter over there who cooks. I mean, you have natural built-in ties. You've got to find a way to land a kid like that that's a top 150 player nationally. And, to me, he, Cam Miller, and then Isaiah Horton, all three of which I think will be off the board by mid-August, are the keys to this class. Because this class, because of all that went on and all that's still going on, was never going to be top 10. But right now it's in the mid-40s. If you can get those three, though, how much does it change the class? How much does the perception of the class change? And how much do they help with other players if Tennessee can take care of business and show progress on the field? I'm not saying win 9-10 games. I'm saying show improvement, show better quarterback play, be competitive, all those things. I think those three potentially could have a huge impact on the rest of the class, depending on what they do in the next 6 weeks.
Austin, do you have an update for us on junior college linebacker J.J. Peterson and where Tennessee stands for him?
Stop.
Where's he going, man? Why does it always feel like he's guessing with J.J. Peterson? We don't have all the information. I mean,
who cares? Once he left, it was over.
You'd be surprised at how many people still care.
It's just weird, man. It's first of all, it's weird that he's going to a JUCO. I think any player that transfers from any school and goes to a JUCO in the age of no restrictions tied to your transfer, I think it's kind of weird if you ask me. But what do you say about that? Outside J.J. Peterson, just any player that's transferred but goes to a JUCO rather than going to a school.
I say that he's got to get work done in the classroom, so he's gonna go there and get his stuff straight. I mean, that's going to be the preferred. Anybody that's got any kind of baggage, that's going to be the way of how they do things. Have you heard anything on who's our friend from Chattanooga and went to Auburn?
Jay Hardy.
Have you heard anything on him? Because I've long said either Jay Hardy is going to go and transfer to another Power 5 school, or Jay Hardy's going to go to junior college and end up back at Tennessee. So I've not heard anything, so I'm thinking Jay Hardy's probably going to end up at JUCO, which means I think the chances of him ending up back here go dramatically up. So we'll see what happens. But I think that's going to be a play of certain kids. I mean, I get what you're saying, but, you know, sometimes it's like I always tell kids, you know, that are, you know, can play college sports, you know, it's like you can go to Carson Newman or Tusculum, or you could go junior college for 2 years, see if you improve your game and potentially end up somewhere bigger. And worst case scenario, if you're still that same player, they're likely at Carson Newman and Tusculum going to still want you in 2 years. So, like, I think that the JUCO route could end up being a way for kids to bounce back in a better position. Yeah, I can go to this lower level Power 5 now, or I can go JUCO for a year and potentially end up back at a bigger Power 5 where I get more exposure.
That's good advice, Uncle Austin. On a more serious note, SEC Media Days is 2 weeks from today. Josh Heupel will be in Hoover 2 weeks from today. Any insight onto maybe who Tennessee takes to SEC Media Days, or do you have an opinion? If not, who you would take?
Well, I don't think they're going to be able to take 3 anymore. I think they'll only be down to 2, at least for this year.
Probably good for Tennessee.
That's what I had been hearing. You know, if I was Tennessee, I would venture to say they're going to take Alontae Taylor and Bayless Jones. You know, I don't think they'll take Cade Mays. I don't think they want to. Listen, it's the same to Georgia talks. I don't think you want to put them around the Georgia media because all that's just going to get drudged back up. Like, there's no point. I guess there's a chance that Matthew Butler could go, but I still would lean on Alontae and Bayless if there's 2.
Yeah, I mean, Bayless has a dang good personality. I think he would be good. And then Alontae. I mean, come on now, he's been representing Tennessee there on the SEC Council for months and months and months now. So I think those 2 are good. Austin, a lot of folks when you saw the transfer of the 2 defensive linemen last year with Middleton and Emerson. I mean, these are guys that some felt like would be maybe starters, and I say some, meaning fans. What is the plan there now that you've lost 2 last week? Do you add another one during the month of July, or do you roll with what you have and just push forward?
I think they'll roll with what they have and push forward. I don't think you'll see them add anybody else. I mean, I think part of the notion is they've been preparing to be with, to not have those kids for a while. So I don't think this is any kind of shock to Tennessee's system at all.
Austin, coming up over the next month, 3 targets on Tennessee's radar have announced their days for when they will announce. Marquarius Squirrel White, a receiver from Alabama, is announcing on Thursday. I believe Demario Tolan is announcing that same day, the 4-star linebacker from the Orlando area. And then Branson Robinson, the 5-star running back, announced over the weekend that he will make his decision on July 22nd, the date of his late uncle's birthday. So just with those 3, Branson Robinson, Demario Tolan, and Squirrel White, what do you think Tennessee's chances are?
Oh, man, Marquarius White, I think Tennessee's in a good spot there. That's Tennessee versus Louisville, Tennessee last visit. I believe he has a really good feel for, what they want to do with him in this offense. I did ask him, why did you have the nickname Squirrel? He said, my great-grandmother was on the porch when I was a kid, and there was a squirrel out in the yard darting around everywhere, and then all of a sudden I was out in the yard darting around everywhere. He's like that squirrel. It just stuck. Tolan, that one does not feel like Tennessee. And then Branson Robinson, Tennessee's made up a ton of ground there. Call me skeptical. I just think that the kid's going to end up at Georgia. That's just kind of the feel I got. Tennessee, again, has done a really good job. He likes Jerry Mack a ton. I just think for a kid like Branson Robinson, it's hard to look at Tennessee right now and just latch on to that because he has no evidence on the field of what Tennessee can be or is doing under Josh Heupel. It's all kind of, here's what we hope to do, and here's opportunity to play here. At Georgia and Alabama, they've been factories for producing running backs that go to the NFL for several years now.
Yep, hard to recruit up against that. Both schools, Bama and Georgia, they've put guys in the league. You do gotta wait your turn though, and maybe some players want to do that and okay with doing that, and other players want to get on the field and play now.
Now, I will put the caveat on this is the fact that not always recruiting makes sense. I mean, I think most people, especially up in the Northeast, would have agreed that Ryan Brubaker was going to end up at Penn State where his dad played, but yet he's committed to South Carolina right now. So, if you're Tennessee, you got to continue to swing until July 22nd and see what happens. I mean, I know that's what Jerry Mack is continuing to do. Again, he did a really nice job of building a relationship there, and Branson Robinson got to campus and took an official visit, and Tennessee is again way in it more than I thought they would be 2 months ago. But it's just hard not to just think logically for the kid. But hey, with the NIL stuff, if he gets the right pitch from Tennessee or whoever, then who's to say that that's not a deciding factor in all this? Because if he looks up and says, at Tennessee, there's no sales tax, I can do a lot of different things, or no income tax, do a lot of different things that maybe I couldn't do at another school and make a little bit more money. Maybe that plays into the role. I mean, again, how kids think with the new NIL stuff is going to be different than what they've done before.
Austin Price, VolQuest.com. Looking at all the transfers and latest arrivals, the Joe Milton, the Trembleys, Jamal, Haddon is going to be coming in. Hendon Hooker that was here before Heupel was hired. What updates do you have on the new transfers and the guys just coming in?
Well, DJ Terry looks like a mountain. Really impressed by the look of that kid. I could be mistaken, but I'm almost positive that at some point during the season, Caleb Tremblay will be able to rent a car. And, of course, we all know you have to be 25 to rent a car. He was born in 96.
Grown man.
Let that resonate. Not having Middleton here, to me there was two kind of odd storylines that no one really thinks about that are only intriguing maybe to me. One was what I just said about Tremblay and the car rental thing. The other was the fact that had Middleton still been here, he originally committed to Derek Dooley when he was a freshman in high school. That was 4 coaches ago.
Goodness gracious.
But he's no longer here. As far as other guys, I'm interested to see what, some of these corners do. The Haddon kid who went to JUCO and then went to Auburn for the spring and then came here. What does Brandon Turnage look like? We had this question last night in the chat, Prunty, Turnage, or Roe Torrance. And I would have said, Turnage, even if Turnage was somewhere else and Prunty was here. Like, I just think, there are really good players at Alabama that get buried on the depth chart that just want to go play somewhere. Like, they go down there, they take their shot. They might play some special teams, but they're not playing like they want to play, and they want to play. So, you have those kids leave. So, Turnage kid has talent. I think even Georgia saw that in the spring, based off some people I talked to in Athens. And so, I'm interested to see what he and Kamal Haddon look like at corner, just because they're thin at that position. What's Jawan Mitchell do? What's he look like? Coming up, I continue to hear he is just strong as an ox. That's the one thing that I've continue to be told is the work that he's got done in the weight room has been really, really impressive. And then you've got Joe Milton, who is as impressive a looking kid. Ben can attest to this, having been over there for camp. I mean, there was another media member. I will not say his name because I don't want to feel like I'm talking about it. He's like, I'm just kind of not impressed with, the size. Not impressed is not the right word. He goes, what did he say? He goes, I'm surprised Milton's not bigger. And I said, what do you mean?
6'5",
and he goes, well, I just thought he'd be bigger. And I said, okay, I want you to look over there at R.J. Perry. Now look at Joe Milton. Look at Big O. Now look at Joe Milton. And he goes, okay, you're right. I mean, you don't realize how big this guy is. You know he's big, but you don't truly realize how big he is until you start comparing him to offensive and defensive linemen. I mean, he's big, and I'm interested to see what he is able to do. Can mentally he grasp it? That's the biggest thing, because from all accounts, talking to so many people over there, his arm is uber impressive, and so can mentally he grasp the offense enough to go out there and win the job? Because he's got to win it. They're not just going to say, hey, you transferred, so you're the guy. I mean, nobody's doing that. But if he wins it, hey, that means he's done some stuff, coming up in fall camp.
Well, and what was funny about that comment was that that comment was made as Joe Milton was towering over Hendon Hooker. Even Hendon Hooker's, a good-sized dude, and Joe Milton makes him look small. So
yeah,
he definitely has the size. Austin, I've got two more for you. A quick one first. Walter Nolan seems kind of quiet since he had that mysterious tweet a couple of weeks ago. Anything on that front?
Nothing going on there. I think Walter Nolan is a lot like Branson Robinson. He's done a nice job of getting back in it after they were basically eliminated. But it just seems like that one is, going to be a tough road to land Walter Nolan.
Is he going to play high school football at Memphis?
No.
Knoxville?
Maybe.
Still being worked out. My second question for you is how you would assess the job Tennessee has done recruiting to this point, given all the circumstances. And I'm going to make you give me a letter grade. And the reason I'm asking this is because there, as you have seen on the board, and I'm sure as you have seen on social media as well, seems to be a little bit of a freak out over the amount of 3 stars and not a lot of star power. And I don't think it's very indicative of maybe how well Tennessee actually is recruiting right now, given the circumstances, how late Josh Heupel was hired, the NCAA cloud hanging over the program. Just how would you assess how Heupel and Tennessee is recruiting right now?
Well, I get it. Listen, I think they'd be the first to tell you they're not recruiting at the level they want to recruit at, based off the fact that they're bringing a butter knife to a gunfight. I don't think everybody understands that, and this isn't carrying water, as some of the people want to say, or putting lipstick on a pig, or whatever you want to call it. I don't think everybody understands how much damage not being able to say, okay, we got a 1-year bowl ban that lost 7 scholarships, or we got a 1-year bowl ban that lost 15 scholarships, or whatever. Because these other schools are telling these kids 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. If you go to that school, you won't be able to play for a bowl game. These kids don't know. These parents don't know. And Tennessee can't definitively say they're wrong. They can't say with conviction those schools are wrong, because Tennessee doesn't know yet. Do they think it's going to be that? No. Do I think it's going to be that? No, because I think ultimately the NCAA, because of the NIL stuff, doesn't have a lot of power right now, and they're not trying to ruffle any feathers. So if Tennessee comes in there and says, hey, we're going to self-impose a 1-year bowl ban and lost 12 scholarships over a 2-year period, then I think that the likelihood is the NCAA is going to say, okay, that's good. You fired everybody. You wiped out the whole program, and in turn really has hurt yourself doing all that. So I just think that's really what's just hurt this recruiting class more than anything. Throw in the fact that, like, some of these kids didn't have relationships with anybody on the staff because they were recruiting a different kind of player at UCF, or, in Jerry Mack's case, he was at Rice or wherever else. So, like, they're really, when they got here, they were starting these relationships brand new, whereas a lot of these schools had relationships with players X, Y, and Z for multiple years. And so I just think, I don't think 22 is what you judge them on. I think 23 is. Can they pull? And now, don't get me wrong, they still have to pull a couple of guys. They can't just take, a bunch of flyers the entire class. You've got to land the Addison Nichols, Cam Miller, the kids that you have either a good shot at landing, that have name value, star value, all that, or the kids that you have natural ties to, like Addison Nichols. Like, think about it. Like, Tennessee could not land Tate Ratledge. Tate Ratledge's grandmother was a diehard Lady Vol fan, came to games for years. His dad was a diehard Tennessee fan. Peeled the sticker off his truck right in front of the Chattanooga media when his son picked Georgia. Like, remember when Cade went to Georgia? I mean, there's been several instances over the last 7-8 years of players that had deep Tennessee ties and ended up going elsewhere. Tennessee's got to find a way to land Addison Nichols, a couple of these other kids in state that, you are trending for. And if that happens, then I think everything calms down. So if I was asked to give a grade, I would go B-, based off the fact that, again, they're carrying a butter knife to a gunfight right now. And once they get the investigation stuff done and the penalties or whatever are levied, at that point, then it becomes on this staff. Right now, it's not a fair fight, and it is what it is. But until then, Tennessee's got to find a way to get to September, score some points, show some progress. If you're Tennessee, you're hoping no matter who your quarterback is, the quarterback play is much better than what it's been. And I think then everything kind of calms down. But, for right now, Tennessee's got to find a way to land those three that I talked about throughout this whole interview in the next 6 weeks. You do that, and things, I think, calm down and dramatically change the look of the class.
Austin Price, VolQuest.com. I know we run up against it, Austin, but I do want to kind of get your take on this. On several occasions I've mentioned Pruitt's approach. He came in being able to recruit to Florida State and Georgia and Alabama, and he was able to go out and flash that logo, and kids would come to their school. Well, he was the head coach of Tennessee, and he tried to go out and recruit that same caliber of player in year number one. In doing so, he allowed some of the other players that were not necessarily good enough to play at Alabama or Georgia, but they were good enough to play the other SEC programs and other top programs in Power 5, but he missed out on those. Do you think this staff learned from that, and that's kind of why they're taking guys a lot earlier, so they won't be put in a position where they're trying to, because at the end of the day, that to really beat Alabama and Georgia consistently, you're going to have to out-recruit them, but realistically, you're not going to be able to do that right now. So what's your take on this staff maybe learning from Pruitt's mistakes? Do you think they're doing that?
I don't, because when Jeremy got here, he got here in December, so he's trying to flip that one class. It was the first year of the early signing period. And so he had like 3 5-star DBs in town in January. Now, it's a little different because, Josh got here and the signing day had already, basically come and gone. It was right there before it. So, it wasn't the same. So I don't know if you're learning those same mistakes, but I think, they're trying to, I think more just anything, I won't say learn from previous staff's mistakes. I think it's more just, learn how to, recruit at Tennessee. Lean on a guy like Rodney Garner or Willie Martinez, who have been here and understand this place, because it's different. Recruiting at Tennessee is different than recruiting at Auburn or recruiting at Georgia or recruiting at LSU. It just is. And so, trying to find their own niche on recruiting Tennessee and then recruiting the state and then getting, that balance between in-state kids and out-of-state kids. The biggest thing I think for Tennessee right now is just have conviction about your evaluations.
Yep.
Because there were a couple kids in state that I think Tennessee was kind of, they dipped their toe in the pool or put their feet in the pool, but they didn't go all in the pool or all out of the pool. So, to me, either you got to be all in or all out. You can't straddle the fence on in-state kids. And so I think there's a couple that I think if they had to do it all over again, they would have been all in or all out. Instead, they kind of straddled it, and that hurt them. And then again, most of the in-state crop just didn't know these coaches because they were recruiting a different kind of kid at UCF or other schools. And so, when they got here, it was really late in the game. And most of these kids, they were feeling the pressure from these other schools to get in the boat and commit. I mean, kids, other programs are smart. They see blood in the water. They want to keep Tennessee down as much as they can. So they're going to put pressure on the in-state kids to, hey, look, you've had your time. I need you to commit. I need you in. And what are these kids going to do? Take a chance on Tennessee, which has, struggled mightily over the last 10, 12 years, or, go and play at Georgia where you have much greater chance of success right now.
Get it? No, totally get it. Austin, what's going on in VolQuest this week? What work y'all got Ben doing?
Man, we are just riding Ben's coattails, baby. Ben's over there dominating, and we're just along for the ride.
That sounds good to me, man. Me too. I guess we're all witnesses then. So I guess Ben can be like LeBron. We're all witnesses. So we just ride Ben's coattails.
I hate y'all.
If Ben's like LeBron, then when he gets up from the table y'all are currently sitting at, he'll probably catch a splinter and miss the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Or act like he's been shot by a grenade or something like that, man. Been shot by hit with a grenade and shot by a missile or something, man. If he's LeBron, because man, he's golly, man. That acting is that's too much for me, man. That's the only thing I would say about LeBron. The flopping is way overboard. So, Ben holding it down this week, man, at VolQuest. So we'll be paying attention to VolQuest.com as Tennessee is looking to possibly get a commitment. In the near future. This month's going to be a big month for Tennessee, starting off last week on a good note. So for all your recruiting needs, hit up VolQuest.com. Austin Price on Twitter, at Austin Price List. And as always, my friend, thank you for the time.
Appreciate it, guys.
Austin Price, VolQuest.com here on the Swain Event. So, Addison Nichols.
Very important.
The most important player?
I agree.
Right now?
Yeah, just because like Austin said, you can't have a guy whose grandparents live on the same street as Rick Barnes. And that's not really the point that Austin is trying to make.
The point is that grandparents got some money.
The point is that the grandparents live in Knoxville, have always lived in Knoxville, and because they have always lived in Knoxville, he has grown up going to games with his grandparents, whether it be football, basketball games. So your grandparents live in Knoxville. Rick Barnes lives on their street. He's well known even at a local establishment such as Long's Drugstore. So you can't have a guy who has that type of ties and swing and miss. So because of that, I do agree with Austin. I think he is the most important player on the board at the moment.
Yeah, Tennessee, man, when Tennessee was winning a whole lot more games, when 8-9 wins, was considered a failure. Think about the offensive lineman that either was from Tennessee or had Tennessee ties. You built that from the inside out with Tennessee guys. And in this case, Addison Nichols, you would count him in that, that same category there. But I remember the Scott Wells and the Ramon Fosters and guys from the state of Tennessee you built that offensive line with. So be cool to see, man. Be cool to see Tennessee be able to capitalize on, one of those ties. They haven't been connecting like we want to when it comes to that, but hopefully we can do it with Addison Nichols, man. Maybe we need to pitch a tent at grandparents' house. That probably
I'll let you and Stokes handle that.
I'll let Stokes handle that. Hour 3, powered by Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Stay with us.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
It's a new season, which means it's time to rep your team in new ways with gear from Game Time Sidekicks. Rep the Vols with every sip with a new tie-dye tumbler or bottle. They also have a new NFL Players Association product line, so you can support your favorite VFL on Sundays. Want to put your own flair on a tumbler? Game Time Sidekicks has you covered with options to add your own text or even a monogram on the back of your favorite team tumbler. To check out everything that Game Time Sidekicks has to offer, go to GameTimeSidekicks.com. Carry your team with Game Time Sidekicks.
Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Guys, your health right now is more important than ever. I recommend Low T Center. That's where I get my levels checked. It all starts with the annual wellness exam where they do a comprehensive health assessment exclusively for men, making it quick and easy to take care of your health. And now they offer monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatment. Most insurance is accepted. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment and make your health a priority. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
More and more Tennessee businesses are switching to Iris Networks for reliable, local, high-quality, high-speed business fiber internet. Iris provides direct internet access from 10 megs to 10 gigs with no payments for 90 days. Iris also offers next-generation business phones with work-from-anywhere capability from the mobile or laptop app. With local sales, support, and service, Iris is a partner in the community. Learn more at irisnetworkusa.com or call 865-448-IRIS. Iris Networks, a Tennessee business connecting Tennessee businesses.
Good morning, Swain Event crew. As the weather heats up, so does our market, and from Johnson City to Knoxville, eager buyers are grabbing up many available properties. The chili is hot in East Tennessee, so if you are ready to buy or sell or want to talk more about our local real estate market, I'm just a phone call away. Or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. And go Vols!
JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
Home service problems occur, even at the most inconvenient times, like during a health crisis. And Hiller is always here to help you 24/7. As people are social distancing and staying at home on workdays, it's an easier time to take care of home maintenance items that you feel are necessary. And we've put new safety precautions in place, like wearing gloves, avoiding physical contact, new sanitation protocols, and limiting time in your home. We're here for you.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Swain Event fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Hour 3 is powered by Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Oh, boy. CJ Vol says his nickname was Squirrel.
Well, I prefer Marquarius White.
Yeah, he
I
has
prefer
eligibility.
that squirrel.
Yeah.
Because he can catch and run fast.
Yeah.
Sorry, CJ Vol.
And he has eligibility.
Mm-hmm. And Tennessee needs speed.
LC Vol. Okay, LC Vol. Trying to figure out exactly what the text says there.
He was saying that he wasn't really calling us out for carrying water. He just thought that if he said that, we might notice the post and then address the Tony Vitello contract situation.
Just tell us to address it.
He did like 3 times in the first hour, and we didn't say anything, so I think that's why he went to that extreme. We're
yeah.
going to come back to it, though.
Yeah, first hour, we were having discussion, so I didn't see that in the first hour. But yeah, I ain't a big
It worked
fan.
for him.
I ain't a big fan of the whole carrying water accusations because I take pride in not doing that. So, man, just send another one to call in.
It worked for his thought process. Worked. It did catch our attention.
I mean, I was gonna read it off anyways.
I know.
Let's see. Considering the last 15 years, you can't blame the pitchforks for staying sharp. We were talking about Tony Vitello deal. Being really close to being done. Thought it was gonna be done last week. Wasn't done last week. Folks trying to figure out why. What's the reason for that? I was told, the last minute haggling and tying up loose strings, and I have mentioned on this program that Danny White is not a favorite. His favorite thing to do is not dealing with agents. So Danny White's deputy AD, dating all the way back to Central Florida, has handled conversations with agents. I don't know if that's going to, work or if that's going to hurt Tennessee. I don't know that. But I do know this is not Central Florida. This is not Central Florida. So what worked at Central Florida may not work at Tennessee. And what didn't work at Central Florida may work at Tennessee. I'm not sure. As long as it's not a problem for Jimmy Sexton and Tony Vitello, then I'm not gonna make a big deal about it. But if it is a problem, then that's something that we'll discuss. But it's not something that I know 100% for a fact right now. But Danny White, got to get Vitello signed. Got to do it in a way to, where there's trust and there's a good relationship. Moving forward. After the signing, obviously, Rick Barnes has been made a priority. Even though Rick Barnes was not, brought here by Coach Former, Rick Barnes almost slid out of here. Danny White did not hire Rick Barnes, but Danny White is making sure that that doesn't happen again. The Tennessee administration making sure that doesn't happen again, that he retires a volunteer. And I think that's going to happen. I don't think Rick Barnes is going to be coaching for, more than 5 or 6 more years anyway. So that way you can ensure that he retires a Tennessee volunteer. So this week we're on Tony Vitello contract extension for the second week.
I'm so ready for it to be done.
I am too. Looking at Danny White, man, you got that's big. You have a team that went to the World Series. You need to pay the coach, and that's a big deal. Stadium renovations, but man, it's football season, and he has a coach that he brought from Central Florida that wasn't on the top of the list. He may have been the only coach that was offered, but that doesn't mean that he was number one on the list. And so you have been down this path before with hiring coaches, assistants. You've hired, unproven coaches. I think people just wanted a proven winner that did it on a high level. Now, Heupel is proven. He's probably the most proven coach that Tennessee has hired since Johnny Majors. But Danny White has went out with NCAA cloud over his head. He's went out and he has targeted the hottest coaches in college football, the hottest young and up-and-coming coaches in college football. Publicly, you won't hear that Tennessee offered a coach or got turned down, because you can't turn down what you wasn't offered.
Nope.
So Tennessee did go out, kick those tires on some of those, household names in the coaching circles, and it wasn't going to work. So he moved on, but Heupel was a selection. So now Danny White his plate is full with making sure that Heupel is as successful as he can be, considering them circumstances. If you're not going to win, you better be entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I think he'll be that.
Because the last thing you want is to lose the interest. Lose the interest. People forgot Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss's record. All they was caught up in was, man, look at that offense. Look at that offense. Look at them go. Look at them go. Man, Lane Kiffin did this. Lane Kiffin did that. Because they were entertaining, people forgot that they still wasn't good. They just competed in their best game of the season, where they lost against Alabama probably, but they still wasn't good.
That defense was terrible.
Yeah.
Offense was amazing.
Yeah, so they were average. If your offense is great and your defense is terrible, that means you're average. And their record pointed to them being average. So they wasn't good.
And the defense being bad wasn't Lane's fault. I mean, it was year one for him, but everybody's clamoring over Lane, and as you've pointed out on the show, Josh Heupel's done more than Lane Kiffin has as a head coach.
He has. He has.
Now, one could make the argument, well, what would Heupel do if he got a job like the Raiders or USC? Not really, in my opinion, not really fair to compare Heupel's time at UCF to Lane's time at USC or with the Raiders. Obviously, much different coaching circumstances and easier to win at UCF than those other two schools. But still, even comparing, because I'll take it back another step, because Lane did do at FAU what Heupel did at UCF, and that's really the only fair comparison I think you can make.
Yeah, Lane seems to have a better personality, and our fan base, we like that. It's why we love Tony Vitello. His personality matches our personality, and so when you look at Lane Kiffin, there's the match there. He has a personality. We have a personality. We like that. It's why Conzo Martin wasn't appreciated here. Number one, his style of basketball was boring, and he didn't entertain. He didn't have fun on the outside. Those players loved him. Those players respected him, but Danny White, his attention, as soon as his contract is over, he got to get football right. And helping Heupel do that as much as possible. And we had Austin Price on talking about NCAA stuff, and I think the NIL's passing, that's going to help Tennessee because now the NCAA is weaker, something that we mentioned weeks before today. But I think that's going to help Tennessee. But the sooner that Danny White can get this stuff behind Tennessee, and when I mean behind, I mean we know what our punishment is going to be. So that way other schools can stop using that over over Josh Heupel's head in recruiting. That's what Danny White needs to be trying to get done as soon as possible. Stadium atmosphere. Everyone knows that if you win, that's the best remedy, right, for the stadium atmosphere. It's the best remedy for the fan experience. But just because that's the best doesn't mean that you don't put forth efforts to make Neyland Stadium better as far as fan experience too.
Correct.
And stadium renovations come with that. Some edits here and there. You must improve the fan experience. So Danny White has his plate full. He don't leave that office a lot. He don't leave that office a lot from what I'm hearing. So he has his plate full. A lot to fix, and maybe that was a challenge that got him here on top of the big time contract. But it's a challenge for him. All right, let's go back to the text box. Big Orange Mike from Indiana, Elkhart, Indiana, says, love the show. Listen to y'all every day. I make the entire shop listen to y'all. Keep it going. # Go Vols. Is it the barbershop or the auto shop? Whatever shop it is. Swain Event says, what's up, Big Mike?
What's up to Big Mike and his shop?
Tramel says, who you talking about backpedaling? He's talking about
LC Vol.
LC Vol?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yeah, I just need you, man. If you're gonna call me out for carrying water, I just need you to.
Hey, he called us out, okay?
Well, I just need. I don't. That ain't my favorite. I'm just telling you. So,
I love when people get mad about us sharing bad news or carrying water when we don't dictate the news.
Yeah,
we react to the news.
We dictate what we say about the news, and
correct. That's
if it's something that warrants an outrage, and we're trying to downplay it because we are covering from the university, then I would understand the carrying water comment. But man, I think I've done this long enough to people know how I'll handle it, and it doesn't matter who the AD is, who the coach. I'm me. I ain't changing, and I think I've kind of proved myself, so I don't need to go there. Let's see here. To my egos, Dan White has an ego. Yep, and Tony Vitello has an ego. I think everybody has an ego. Good morning, friends. How's Trinity Bell recovering from his knee injury from Smitty 22? Don't have a real update on Trinity Bell. If he's behind schedule, ahead of schedule, I'm going to assume that he's on schedule. And I know he got himself hurt his last year in high school. He's playing as a senior in high school. It is July right now, so he got hurt. Was it the end of the season?
Right?
So, Yeah, he's redshirting probably.
Yeah, I would be surprised.
He not no Amari Rodgers. He ain't no Amari Rodgers now.
You don't know that.
Ain't many guys like Amari Rodgers.
What if he's one of the few?
He might be, but I ain't put my money on it.
Probably smart.
I'm not putting my money on it. You tear your ACL in the spring and then you play in the fall. Ain't many guys can do that.
Mm-mm.
So I'm assuming that Trinity Bell is going to be sitting this one out.
Probably a safe bet.
Let's see. Ben, do you have an idea of what our basketball non-conference teams we might be playing? Yeah, we did go over that a little bit at the end of the last week. I don't know if we have enough time to go through them all together, but it's a good one. Includes Texas.
Yep,
it's a good non-conference.
Run through them real quick, and you can go check it out on utsports.com as well. They have what is already scheduled, already listed on the website, but opener is November 9th against UT Martin. They'll play ETSU at home, former assistant Desmond Oliver. They're in the Hall of Fame tip-off tournament. They'll play Villanova on Saturday, November 20th, and then the next day they'll play North Carolina or Purdue. Tennessee Tech at home, Presbyterian at home. They play at Colorado December 4th. They are in the Jimmy V Classic in Madison Square Garden against Texas Tech on December 7th.
The Mecca of basketball.
That's right. They play Memphis December 18th in Nashville, Arizona in Thompson Bowling December 22nd. And then as Swain mentioned, they play at Texas January 29th in the Big 12 SEC Challenge.
Going to Facebook Live, Rhonda says yesterday was the worst day for radio shows. Nothing local was on air. I mean, we figured everybody's gonna be home, off. That y'all don't want to sleep in or hang out. That y'all wouldn't be commuting, listening to the radio. So I guess that's why everybody took yesterday off. Danny says good morning to Danny and Susan, and Chip says Tennessee needs to quit messing around and give Tony what he needs. And looks like that is going to happen. And so, man, this week, let's get that deal
I'm so ready
signed.
for this to be done.
I am too, man.
And by the way, you said football season is here. Football season is not here until that first coach takes the podium at SEC Media Days. That is the unofficial kickoff to football season.
For you. I get it. I'm still wired that July is go time.
I'm picking at you.
July's go time.
No, it definitely feels like football season is here. I mean, I just applied for Media Day credentials, and fall camp starts August 3rd as of right now, tentatively scheduled to begin August 3rd. So
I did get that email. Mm-hmm. So I did get the email about SEC media credentials.
One of these years, we need to go back to Hoover and do the show. Maybe when they come back to Atlanta or go to Nashville, we can shorter drive. Not by much, though. Only an hour or so. But we can do the show from SEC Media Days like you and Stokes did one time. You all, that was before I was with the show. You all had a bunch of great guests that week.
Yeah. Boogie McFarland was on with us. Man, that was a good week, man. That's why I met Matt Moscona, and we developed our relationship. Mm-hmm. So it was a good time, man. Meeting a lot of folks you see on TV. I got a chance to chop it up with Andy Staples.
Florida grad.
Yeah, so might be the coolest Florida grad ever, though.
I'm kidding.
Cool dude. So you're right, Ben. We have to make that trip. So today is Tuesday. Tomorrow is Wednesday. It's already midweek tomorrow, so we got that midweek heat.
Let's go.
Tomorrow, Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. For Ben McKee, I'm Jason Swain. Hope you have a great day. Peace and love. We are out.